Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is James. I am the keeper for today's game of Call of Cthulhu, and it only took 4 sessions before I managed to get through at least the start of the intro without doing something wrong. We are playing Cults of Cthulhu today. We are playing the very final scenario in There a God's Dream, and hopefully this is going to be the very final session, the climactic end, where we take the car filled with explosives that we've managed to gather throughout the course of the scenario, and we head straight towards the strange Church of Perfect Science, and we manage to put an end to their dastardly schemes. I'm joined, as I always am, by this fantastic crew of folks. Slightly changed from last week because we have lost Jackson, but although our hearts miss him deeply, we are joined by Art, so all is well. Let's go through, let's get everyone to introduce themselves. Dave, can we start with you this time?
Oh, we're going out of order. Exciting. Yeah, g'day. My name is Dave, and I'm playing Miss Dina Vellum, returning from the previous sessions. I am a sort of starting off private investigator, and I've recently been threatened by a globe-spanning cult. So my life is like under threat, I suppose. Might not survive the evening. I've been offered money. I've turned it down and basically declared war on these people. Now me and the only person I still trust, Bailey, jam our car full of explosives, and we're solving this one way or the other.
I usually like to try and ask a question to get a little bit of character detail here, but you've said it all. I think that's the classic detective story. Let me ask you this then. Lucas Bailey, only person you trust. Do you still trust yourself? Doesn't really make sense in context.
I think I do. I have no reason not to. Yeah, I'm doing great, Jim. Thank you, though. Nice try.
Alex, do you want to jump in?
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Lucas Bailey, or Bailey Lucas on the official documents, because you've got to keep the feds off your trail. And trust is not a word that's in Lucas's vocabulary, but if it were, Dina would be pretty close.
Yay!
She might be top contender now that Carl is dead, time travel, whatever he might be.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've got a what is it? Corolla. We've got a Corolla full of explosives and determination and gumption and guts and all the other stuff you need. Hopefully the guts will remain on the inside, but we're ready and raring to go, and we're going to take down this globe-spanning cult with all their money and influence and wealth, and we're going to do it because we're the little guys.
Let me ask you this, Lucas. I'm going to go with Lucas. You've talked a lot about all of these conspiracies and events you've been involved in. You've definitely been able to get a hold of explosives and weaponry and do all kinds of stuff.
Well, I stole these explosives from the cult that there's actually kind of a delicious irony there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't seem too stressed, is the point. Has Lucas been involved in things of this scale before, or is he just so whacked out that he takes it in stride because in his head he's always
that's my secret keeper. I'm always stressed. It's okay. Every single conspiracy is true. The government are in fact out to get us. So are the shady figures who are really controlling the government. And you know what? When everyone is actually out to get you, there's like a baseline that you learn to operate at. This isn't that far from the baseline yet.
You've even been having stress streams about people bursting into your house and trying to kill you.
I've been waiting for that day my whole life.
Perfect. All right.
Kind of disappointed it was a dream, actually.
Yeah, terrible news, especially since you were crushing all the rolls.
So ready.
Last but not least, let's jump across to Art. Can you give us a taste of who you'll be playing today?
Hi, I'm Art, and I'll be playing Colleen Conroy, secretary to Mr. Day, who went missing, and I don't trust it personally. Colleen is an older woman, probably could be in her late 40s, could be in her early 70s. Who knows? Cigarettes don't do it, kids. She is currently very concerned about the whereabouts of her employer. In part because he's a good employer, but also because, she gets paid. And if he's not around, it's a little harder to get paid. I mean, she's not concerned about finding someone else to work for, private detectives, when you're in the business, you know who you know. But yes, she is going to do her best to try and find Mr. Day, or PI Day, before the day is out, as it were.
I'm just picturing now, next to all of the seedy bars that private investigators frequent, right next door, all their secretaries are gathered together, even smokier, even more whiskey going. All right, perfect.
Yeah, we are the diviest of the dive bars. Oh, I tell you, Maureen, you've seen nothing.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's pick up then, but just before we do, I want to say a quick thank you to Roll20 and to Sirenscape, tools which we use to improve our game. We are going to pick up our story as Lucas and Dina are speeding away from the site of their ill-fated rendezvous in a car filled with explosives. We're not going to dive into the details of your extraction because basically it's going to end in the collection of you speeding off and trying to get towards the Church of Perfect Science based on the discussions that we had. So that said, there was a little betrayal last time. The atmosphere in the car is probably a little tense. And I think it's at this point as well where you're sitting in the car, speeding along the highway. It's very late at night now. There's not many lights around, just the light from inside the car itself. And you're starting to realize that your clothes are leaving these stains on everything that you touch. And you're dripping dye and just starting to feel worse and worse and worse.
This is a good plan. This is still gonna work.
Yeah,
This is great. We have such a good idea. God, we're good at this.
Can I get an insight into the atmosphere here? The last you saw of James Scunthorpe was him tearing off towards his family.
Fury! Abject fury! Betrayal! What can you expect from a trust fund lawyer
For
kid?
a fucking lawyer,
Betrayal?
yeah. In hindsight, we should have never associated with that man.
Yes, look, hindsight being 2020, but betrayal? Lucas is genuinely hurt by this.
I can imagine Lucas just ranting, raving.
Oh yeah.
Dina, is this? Are you blowing your top off a little bit?
Oh
as well?
yeah, no, I think it's pretty cooked. I mean, the whole plan we had was reliant on, we were vulnerable because we relied on James to tee us up, and even if we managed to get out of there, we lost the idol. Which was our one bargaining chip as far as we're aware, and we've fled. Like, now we're just blew it the fuck up. Now we're racing towards this thing because our window of opportunity has shrunk to a dime, or because Scunthorpe got it in his head he didn't want to play with the big boys. I think also we're just concerned that, like, we still don't know how far the betrayal went. The woman that we were speaking to said that she was talking with Scunthorpe. So, like, was he with them? Is he a member of the cult? Or was he just someone swayed by money? So we don't know how much of the plan he knows or anything. So I think now Dina's trying to go through, rerun all of the, all the calculations, plan out a new one, all in the space of, can we get there before word gets back? Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely fantastic. So, first roll I'd like you to make, just quickly, is could someone make for me a drive auto check? And presumably it's going to be you, Dina, since you are driving.
Yar.
Oh.
Cop that.
Wow. Okay. So you go tearing away at top speed, caring very little for the road rules around here, but it's okay because it's a little sparse. I was going to say it can be a little bit complicated to try and navigate this area, particularly as you start getting closer to the Church of Perfect Science headquarters. You need to start either ducking down a couple of country roads which don't have good places to pull over. If another car is coming past, they're going to spot you. If you need to pull over for any reason, you might have to go off road for a second. You're not really in a car that's suitable for that, particularly considering that it's packed with explosives, and the houses that are around here are kind of, there's large gaps between them, a little bit of forested area, things like that. But with a critical success, you feel completely confident here, and I imagine it's just because you full throttle it.
I would say, I think
moving.
I think there's now a disregard for personal safety that comes with the desperation levels that we've reached. So I think I have just turned off the headlights, turned off all the lights inside the car, and whenever we go racing, but like if another car comes towards us, we just swerve into the other lane, go flying past it in the dark, and just, you know, pray, basically.
Makes sense. Okay, perfect. So before long, you are going to make the trip across, and you are going to arrive just near the main center of the Church of Perfect Science. It hides its true colors relatively well, and for a place that is not hesitant about trying to proselytize, trying to pull in new members, that's immediately a little suspicious, and you get you're in the heartland here.
Yeah.
When you arrive, you're once again, you're driving through this very picturesque area of countryside where you're occasionally getting these large houses. Compounds is probably not far off. Eventually you find one of the buildings just like any others. This one, though, particularly shielded by foliage, trees all along the outside, carefully planted and manicured to provide, as best as possible, a kind of screening cover. There's also a fair bit of space between the house itself and the main road. You can see that the walls are a little higher than some of the others that have passed. There's artfully placed shielding along the top to stop people trying to climb, and just a couple of cameras that are lining it. It's fairly long. You could drive along the side. I mean, you're going at breakneck speed, so I don't want to try and guess how many seconds, but it's a decently sized property. You know, they could have a stable at the back or something.
Yeah, I see all of this as just a smear on the side of the window as we go hurtling past it and around the corner.
I imagine that you've got your GPS set up, so you kind of fang it, you tear around, and you are going to be heading at top speed towards an area that you know you're going to be able to pull over and get a decent look at it.
I think we're going to wire cutter our way through the outside fences or whatever.
Absolutely. So this spot locks in your head. It's perfect. You're going to be able to stare right down. And it's so perfect that somebody else has already chosen it. If you had your headlights on, Colleen would have had time to, pack everything down and look invisible, which I imagine is what she's been doing when the other vehicles have been passing. But for the convenience of uniting you all in narrative, you are going to burst forward, and just as you go skidding towards your observation point, you see that there is another car there. You almost crash into it, and you are going to recognize the car. Colleen, Carl's secretary, is somebody that the two of you have met before. Probably haven't had much contact with them. You know that she works with Carl. Colleen, what do you think? What's your stakeout setup like?
So the window of the car is slightly lowered to allow the waft of cigarette smoke to come out. There is the sound of I'm gonna say I want to say classic FM, whatever the equivalent of classic FM is, but it's currently that weird early morning discordant jazz that's going on. So that's playing. Very seat is a little bit back. She's probably got her feet up on the dash and has got a pair of beat up opera glasses that she's using to look at this property. Occasionally you just see a hand come out of the top and just tap some ash out the side before going back in. These are this woman has talents, to be clear.
And when this car comes speeding up, is there no reaction at all? Is there a slight look of indignancy? What is the reaction?
I think there is absolutely a turn and a if you didn't know any better, the expression or sort of the look on Colleen's face would be exactly about what what am I trying to say? There's an expectation there. It's almost oh, here they are.
Okay.
What took you so long, kinda?
Yeah, what took you so long? Very
Go
much
as fast as we could.
Not necessarily. Yeah.
We had a short
Really?
betrayal in the
got shot
way.
at.
We got shot at.
To be
We had to
clear,
blow up a
Colleen
totem.
has no knowledge that
We're
these
having
people
the
were
worst
arriving.
day,
It's just
Colleen. We're having
the
the
expression
worst
on your face
day.
is what took you so long.
Now,
Help!
especially after being betrayed so readily, it's natural for the two of you to be a little bit suspicious. That said, it is not necessarily the most surprising thing to see Colleen appear here all of a sudden. So you're the three of you are parked a little bit back. You don't have to worry about visibility from the Church of Perfect Science now, although if you decide to hang here for hours, you might. What's the go? What's the immediate reaction from the two of you in the car?
I think what would be great is, as we were driving along, Dina's thinking out loud and trying to put together a bit of a plan. I think I kept on coming up with points where everything we planned for required 3 people. So it was always like, without Scunthorpe, there's no way any of these work now, and on and on and on. So I think when we see Colleen there, and I recognize it as someone we kind of know and trust, I think suddenly Dina just goes, hang on, maybe this can work again, and maybe we could all the plans click back in. She starts running through them to see what might be the best.
That's perfect. Okay.
Lucas is gonna roll his window down. I like if we park like opposite
Spy
and
shit.
just lean out. You know, in the 70s they used to put LSD in those.
Oh, I'm aware, honey. Very aware.
But
Dina,
not
you're
anymore.
looking well. How you been? And is it Bailey or Lucas? I forget.
Lucas, please. The cookie
Lucas.
listening.
Oh,
Miss
I
Conroy,
understand.
what are you doing here?
Call me Colleen, dog. Call me Colleen.
Okay, Colleen, what are you doing here?
Same as us. Saving the day. Obviously.
Well, Mr. Day went missing, and I wanted to know what happened to him, so I came looking.
Okay, okay.
All my personal investigations led me to this shady establishment, lots of trees, and yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm here looking for Mr. Day.
listen, the people here are very dangerous, okay? Lucas and I engaged in
They're a cult.
They are
yeah.
they're a full cult.
All with like money and
like-
resources,
And they had
not
like
afraid of violence.
an idol thing. It was fried.
We
And-
They're a
was
mythos
shot at.
cult.
Yeah.
no. They're like a religious institution spread across the globe, converting people
mythos
when they're at their
cult.
all right, no, they're just no. We don't know that
Yeah.
yet. There's no proof of that. They're just weird.
You're talking about the same thing.
We're not. We're super not. Listen,
Anyway, we got shot at.
we got
And
shot
they had
at.
this green idol thing that they were like obsessed with. You know, statues, bad times.
So we blew that the hell
If
up.
Mr. Day
You
was
blew that up.
investigating this place, then it's got something to do with the unsaid machinations of,
The government.
and I'm not talking about God.
Oh,
So, sounds like you're dealing with a mythos cult. Not the first time, honey. You'll be all right.
Move away from the touch. Listen, Day is inside. We need to get him out. Additionally, we need proof of what they're doing here because they know who I am. They probably, well, Lucas is pretty well hidden. They know who I am, and they're
they
gonna,
think they know who I am.
yeah, they're gonna threaten us outside this. So we're looking for hard evidence that we can bring in the police. We're also trying to get Day out. If you're open to assisting Conroy or Colleen, we have a lot of ideas. We can bounce them around, and we'll probably need to go pretty soon because again, we did blow them up, and they'll probably be ramping up security pretty soon.
Oh, you brought explosives.
We brought a lot of explosives. That's
so
like the
many
one thing we
explosives.
packed,
And our cameras.
and our cameras.
Yeah, Colleen, you didn't bring any of those jam drop cookies, did you? You didn't. The jam drops, the cookies, the biscuits, the.
Oh, yes. One moment. Go into the glove box. There's like a third of a packet left of probably quite stale jam drop biscuits. But
Champion.
Colleen
like every time you see
Thank
her,
you.
it's like cigarette, coffee, jam drops, and she will like pull out the
Thank you.
packet and give them and be like, you can have those.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, we did dress like the guards. We did dress like this, the goons of this cult, but we might have stuffed that. We might have gone and hedged that one up.
Not going to hold up under inspection, but there's still something we can do. As Colleen hands out the little snackies, Dina's going to unfurl the best map we were able to get of the area from Google Maps with all the blurry bits and everything, and ask Colleen what she's noticed so far so we can try and find a point of entry. And then I think plan still holds. We dress in the outfits for as long as we can pass unnoticed, and then we start tasing / exploding / getting people out. And the plan is dress up as guards, get as close as possible, improvise. That is it.
Yep. I would like to get, by close as possible, I would like to get into any sort of basement or lower structure, because that's where, if I'm putting explosives, that's where I would like to
That's
put them.
fine. We're not trying to mass murder here. So, like, if there's people inside, like, a cult indoctrinates people. Like, a lot of these people are innocent. They're people that have been brought into... I mean, you know, they're not good people.
Get people out.
The police should arrest them. Yeah. If they start coming at us with knives, you can blow them. That's fine.
We've needed a failsafe in the past.
I'm all
And
in
I'm glad I
favor
had
of the
one.
bomb, to be clear. I think that's a great idea. Just
I
setting
have a pretty
expectations.
decent library use. Is there any chance that with the amount of time I've had to like do my own research, I have a better map or like some better information, some better intel about what this place is and the layout of it?
Absolutely. You've also been staking out for a while. Let's have you make a library use check. And it's not really a stakeout skill, but for the purposes of this, we're going to roll that through. It has been part of your research for the last while.
I have a success on that one.
Okay. Brilliant. Between the map that you have been able to grab here, before we take a step further, just flavor-wise, this was pulled from the internet. Are you a anti-technology kind of secretary, or have you embraced the future?
Oh, I think like there is a definite vibe of like you would expect this woman to not really understand how technology works. And she like fully pulls out a smartphone and has everything like up and is able to send it to people. Because if you're a good secretary, you stay with the times. Like you work with the most efficient, like if you're a good secretary, you are efficient, and there is nothing efficient about staying in the past. So while she like looks older and acts older and has a lot of like,
Mannerisms.
Mannerisms, yes.
Also because you're actually like 20 and you just smoke like a chimney.
I mean, I did note after I said how old she was on my character sheet, it does say that she's 39. That's not true.
That's because 39 is the oldest you can make someone without having to provoke the age rules.
Yeah.
Provoke the age rules. Get in there. Lower those stats.
I didn't want to apply the
Drive
age
it into
rules
the
in case
ground.
Art wanted to play a younger version of Colleen. So
I mean, that's why I said, like, look,
Could be anywhere.
it could be cigarettes. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Who knows how old this woman is, but she definitely has mannerisms. But yes, is surprisingly like adept with technology. Probably like is probably pretty good with like Excel spreadsheet formulas and stuff like that. Like is pretty on top of that kind of stuff.
If we come across any spreadsheets, we'll let you know.
You don't
I'll just sick you on them.
Yeah.
You don't bristle at the arrival of a Google Maps map. Anyway,
No.
So going through your collected information then. So the Perfect Science Mansion is the name of this building, or how it is referred to. It is about 1 kilometer long on the side, so it's fairly big, but the house itself is obviously just in the middle of that. There is a quite expansive garden. After this shield of trees, foliage at the edge, it's actually pretty flat when you go in, so you're going to have to do a dash across the structure of the house itself. It's a nice house, old wooden wooden building that's been maintained and kept quite well. It has that same creepy kind of quaintness as the house that you investigated earlier in the scenario.
Really, that one was super quaint, wasn't it? Wasn't it like a McMansion kind of deal?
It was like a suburban.
Yeah, it's not really quaint. Yeah, quaint is the wrong word. I guess
Not
I'm
a
thinking
cult?
that like not a cult. Manicured might be better. Like it.
Suburban
Yes, yeah,
normalcy.
I'm with you.
Hair
I'm
off,
with
the
you.
paint's all fresh. And they've got
Yeah. So there's no like actual.
Are you saying it's got like Truman Show vibes?
pretty much.
So there's not like a fence and guard towers and baying dogs though.
No. There is a high perimeter fence which is fairly difficult to get across, and there are camera systems and alarm systems that are set up along the entire thing. Those systems can be accessed. You have spotted, Colleen, by a panel at the very front where cars come in. That is probably the most dangerous place to access it because obviously you're going to be right where all the action is, where people can see where the main road is. But you've also seen that there are a couple of alarm stations on the other side of the wall at various points. If you can get over, you can try and disable the alarm, for example. So you'll have a window that you could try and use to get through. The top floors of the house are all mundane. This is what you've been able to determine. There's a couple of garages right at the front. They probably connect directly to an underground section, or it's the entry to the underground section is close enough that they're able to bundle stuff out of the cars, because you, from your good vantage point and a couple of others, have been looking at this place for ages, and you've got a pretty good guess at what most of the functions of the rooms on the top are. You do know, and it is recorded information, that there is a pretty extensive basement level.
Ad tracks.
None of that is recorded as to the function, and there's a little bit of Bruce Wayne style. All of the companies that did the digging are now out of business, and you can't find records of exactly what was getting done down there.
All right, let's get the bolt cutters and let's get through this gut danged fence, or over it,
Heck
whichever
yeah.
is easiest. So I guess I'll pass out the uniforms, which I think by now we've realized leave the marks, but I think are still the best ploy. I've adapted to it by using my fingerprint to just mark on the map. So I'm treating it like it's a positive, even though it very much isn't. Then I'll grab my backpack with weapons and random bits of things like, some rope, bolt cutters. We've got our little GoPro cameras recording everything because the goal is still evidence. I think we back the car up so that we can have a quick exit, and then who wants to carry a shitload of explosives? All right, my man.
Shitload of explosives. That's pretty much. I'm not taking like a backpack or anything. I want everything to be like accessible.
Yeah.
So I've got one of those real ugly like tactical vest things,
Oh,
and it's just
yeah.
like packed with explosives. And then my camera.
If Lucas gets shot, we're all gonna die.
Is it
They're not
covered with,
wired up.
like-
Okay, one might be wired
Okay,
up.
if you get
but
tased, we're all gonna die.
I'm keeping it separate. One might be wired up.
Is the vest covered in sweat because usually you fill it with weight so you can do chin-ups in your basement or something like that?
Have a look at Lucas's size. What do you reckon?
Okay.
He's just a little guy.
So,
He's just a little guy.
brilliant.
Leave him
No,
alone,
he does not
Jim.
do chin-ups.
So what's the approach here? You back up to the wall and go and climb over seems to be
Let's do it.
the impression that I'm getting.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think we'll probably spread out a little bit. I don't want us clumped together.
Yeah.
Brilliant. The last thing I want to mention, there are, I meant to clarify it when you were talking about guard towers, there are sentries. They're not stationed on the walls, but there are patrol folk that do an occasional check. With your success, you've been able to time pretty well when you're going to be going through, but this is something that you're going to have to contend with when you do the dash across the open section.
Awesome.
I'm going to try and stealth it first, but we
Yeah.
are dressed like guards. At least two of us are. Even
I
though it's
think
a
all three of
shitty
us, because
version
we
of it.
had one for Scunthorpe, so we have
That's right.
the outfit.
But we didn't strip him before.
We weren't wearing it to the meeting because the meeting
because he was in his.
and the meeting we went to
I had
in.
assumed you were wearing them to the meeting because, which is silly,
Yeah.
silly of me. You wouldn't have. You would have put them on just before. Functionally, I guess, because my idea is you have no clothes. You have to wear these ones in,
Why would we-
even though they're going to leave trails. But no, you. we'll hand wave it.
Oh yeah, we'd have other clothes.
Exactly. Yeah, I did. Well, you wouldn't have brought them for evidentiary reasons. You
We
wear the
brought, that's
one
my
tactical
card,
outfit
James.
that
It's
you
my
brought.
registration's in it.
Yeah, good point. No, anyway. Clearly, I shouldn't be a criminal because I would have forgotten that.
All right, over,
So the collection
under,
view,
round, or through.
Yeah. Drive straight up the walls. You can see these things. So first of all, there are cameras along the way. Are you just blitzing it, trying to go really fast? Are you trying to take out those cameras? Are you trying to go for a blind spot? What's your approach?
Blind spot, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
blind spot. Stealth.
Okay. So you're going to have to get over, and you're going to have to get to one of the things on the inside and disable it as quickly as you can. Otherwise, you will register on the cameras.
He's busy.
As you're running across, who is going to be?
Is there a control box? Can I see
I think
a
it's on
control
the
box
inside.
outside? And
It's
cut
on the
it?
it's on the inside.
So we get
but there
over,
are
and then we
control
get you to
boxes.
that, and then we're away.
Yeah, well, I might try and get over close to that then.
I need to know who's going to lead, who's going to be the first to try and get over, and who's going to be last.
Are we looking at climb
gonna
checks, Jim?
You'll be looking at climb checks here. Yes.
Ooh, climb checks.
I'm alright at it.
those.
I'm alright
I'm
at it.
stealthy, but I'm not.
If you want to
Physical.
drive literally drive your car up to the wall to give yourselves a boost, you can have a bonus die. But it's loud. It's probably going to make a stealth check later a little bit more
Let's
difficult.
avoid it if we can.
It's a wall. There's no like chicken wire or anything that we
No,
can.
no,
it's a wall.
that's
fair.
probably once
might
again
need a
they've made it
boost.
look like it's decorative, but it actually is a pretty chunky perimeter wall.
I might
This
need
is-
a boost. That's all.
This is the no, this anecdote goes too long. I'm bailing. All right, Colleen, you're not like a secret rock climber or anything, are you? That'd be a no. All right. Up and at him. I'm probably the best for the climb then. I can go over myself and then try and drop a rope from the top, Jim, if that suits.
That works fine.
All right.
Okay.
I drop my bag off my shoulders, do a little stretch, and then hop, I go. Yeah. Shit.
Okay. Not fantastic. So you get there and you start trying to throw yourself up. You will get over, but it's going to be slow.
Yeah.
So currently it's just going to be slow. You'll be able to like scramble up, but the others all are going to arrive at once and going to be boosting you. You can push this. Penalty is going to be flopping over the other side badly and taking a little bit of damage. I also need to know who's coming last, who's at the back of the pack.
I assume probably Colleen, just because, she's following along a pre-organized plan at this point and is just kind of going,
Here.
all right, you have an idea of what you want to do and you need an extra person and I'll step in and assist. Like, I'm here to get Mr. Day,
Okay. Perfect.
So,
Can you make a spot hidden check then?
no, but I'll try. No, I cannot.
Okay. No, all good. Thank you. So
the penalty for failing this push roll is damage.
damage. That's correct.
I can take damage. I throw myself into the wall. I roll
All
again.
right.
Hey.
Eventually,
Yeah.
it's literally a case of like flopping onto the top.
Nope.
It has
Buddy.
spikes.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, that's not great. So you flop yourself onto the top of the wall. The issue here is they have spikes to stop you from doing this. You get over it, and then it hooks into your side. Do you want to take a D4 of damage?
Yeah, dude.
I'm so sorry. My cat's trapped itself inside. Give me 2 seconds.
Ah. Oh, well.
Cat's gonna start knocking things off
Not the
shelves.
damage you wanted?
Nah. 2
That's
damage.
fine. 2 damage. Okay. So a little bit of a tear over the side, as well as a large stain of the die before you flop over and land slam. You will be able to get the rope up. The others will be able to follow, but the entire process takes quite a bit of time.
Not as
By
elegant
the
as I
time.
hoped.
Yeah. By the time you get over, 2 things have happened. First of all, as you all manage to get over, you can see the house a little bit better now. You can see a large veranda deck out the back that expands basically the entire length of the rear side of the house. There is a figure who is just doing their patrol and is heading in your direction. You're still in this patch of trees, but they're going to be getting towards you relatively quickly, and you can now hear the slight beeping from one of those alarm segments. It's a lot of time has passed, so you don't have much to be able to fix this.
Yeah.
What's everyone doing?
I wouldn't mind peeling off and trying to get to the control box and killing the cameras.
Hack the hell out of it.
You tear over to the cameras.
And the alarms.
What are the other two of you doing?
I think we stayed. I can assist you on it, so I think that's
it's
pretty
gonna
important.
I think it's going to be a get in there, get started. I'll do what I can out here and
Okay, all
follow
right,
you.
fuck it. I will try and take advantage of this opportunity and bolt for the house.
Okay. In which case, straight stealth test. Colleen, do you want to follow anyone in particular, or do you have another plan? Stealth test to get to the house.
Taking people out with a garrote, eliminating sentries.
Yeah, there was a potential of like hunkering down and keeping an eye on these two as they like peel off to do other things, and like look. I think Colleen, like, I don't know what, because I don't have any possessions on my character sheet, but I'm going to say for the sake of this, maybe she like pulls out a kind of like, she's got like a little handbaggy thing or whatever, like a over the shoulder dealio that she pulls a blackjack out of.
Works perfectly.
And just like hunkers down and like just essentially is trying to get like the drop on this guy if he turns around and like sees something, to like get up behind him and just give him a good one to the back of the head to knock him down.
So we'll treat that as a small club, 1d6 for reference.
We're fine to have radio communication, right, Jim? We've kind of established that previously. Can we have little headsets and we're testing?
You pass one along. You possibly have to reconfigure a few things and change the name James out of a few bits and pieces. Maybe there's a message.
Ignore that.
Yeah, ignore
it
that.
all says like traitor and just a string of expletives on it.
Brilliant. You have radio communication here. So you're darting across the actual house. Can I get a stealth check from both of you now?
YOLO. Shit.
Ooh.
Wall of red.
Womp womp.
Not great. Colleen.
Oh, you want one for me as well?
Yes.
Can I get a bonus for kind of hanging and being a little...
Yeah, you bolted straight for the house, which removed you from the action. So basically, you're going to have to like dart back if you want to try and help. So yes, you can have a bonus die because you basically just went straight for it. So take a bonus die.
Me?
I have a bonus die because I'm staying still.
Sorry. I did mean you actually, Dina, because you dropped over the fence. Colleen is hung round, is still in a position to help. As a result, this guard, is getting closer. Might be able to help Lucas on the flip side. You have just gone straight for the house, so it's actually going to be easier for you at this point.
Okay.
You can have the bonus die.
Sure.
Colleen,
I'm happy to eat the failure.
I think it makes sense.
Sure.
I think you can take it because there is a difference between the two stealths that you both attempted. One of you went straight for the house. One of you tried to stay around and be active.
Sure.
Colleen, with a fail there, the guard is going to spot you as he's getting closer. You can luck or you can try to push if you would like.
Luck. You can have 2 points of luck.
Okay.
It's 2 points. It's fine. I rolled and I have 55 points. And I'm here for a session. Let's go.
All right. Perfect.
James, I gratefully take that bonus dice and I succeed.
Fantastic. You dart straight across the house, going wide across this entirely flat field until you reach the back of the veranda and press yourself against it, glancing around. You are hidden and you are across the flat. You could see movement coming from the steps upstairs and in the house, but not a huge number of people, and no one seems to have spotted you.
I'm going to crouch down in the shadows where I am, move to peek through the windows, and I'm going to start calling out where I can see cameras to Lucas over the radio. And also if I can help like Colleen, I'm starting to call out, targets and cameras and all sorts of nonsense.
Excellent. Perfect.
I'll park there for a little
Lucas, can I get a computer use check from you?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to lock that.
You're going to lock
locking
it? Okay. So
3 points.
you get over to this thing and you immediately start trying to find a way to disable the cameras. At first, it's going to be you can just disable this one, and there's still going to be all of the problems associated with getting through this place. You're going to have to be dodging cameras, all this kind of stuff. But as you get there, you realize that this
They've
thing
got it hooked into one circuit.
it's not. It's hooked into a very sophisticated system, but that system has an override code, and as it prompts you for a string of digits, something in the back of your mind goes, "Hang on,
I got digits. I got some digits for you."
You do, and specifically, you have two sets of digits that have different number values now. So, you're able to input one of them, and before your eyes, the entire system wakes up and is at your fingertips. You can disable the entire security system here. With a success, if you want to mess with anything now, you can throw out a suggestion. You're welcome to activate a alarm on the other side.
The cameras, I would like them rerouted to a secure online server.
That's going to take you a while, but you stay crouched there, and you can.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. The whole point was evidence.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm
a
just
really
I'm going
good
to keep
idea.
the cameras running.
Yes.
And I'm going to reroute the feed to record to a secure online server.
That rules. Yes.
Fantastic. Here's what we're going to do. First of all, you can get the cameras from here, from this terminal. You can get them to work to like a local access, so you can get video on your phone, so you can see what's going on. Unfortunately, this is routed out to basically just it doesn't have the upload bandwidth from here. If you can get into the server room, which is not in the basement, there's an electronics room inside the house. You can from there do like a full blast live stream this, get all the information out.
Oh, well, in that case, instead of trying to route it from here, can I loop the last 10 seconds?
Yep, absolutely.
Where we are not on the feed. Can I do a Jackson intro?
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Where we just loop the camera and make everybody think.
Brilliant. You absolutely can. So you're staying there, and it feels very much like when you were standing speaking to that girl who was signing at you. You're working. You hear a noise behind you, but you're just completely focused. By the time you hit the final key, though, activating the loop, you turn back in time to see this one guard. He's not wearing the same kind of uniform. He's wearing just normal clothes, but he's on patrol. Pair of jeans, fairly heavy set dude, walking towards you, finger outstretched, starts yelling, hey, you, trying to get your attention. You can do something now, Colleen, if you would like.
I mean, he doesn't know I'm there.
He doesn't know you're there. Lucas, if you want to be flagging something, you see Colleen's head like peek out from a tree behind this fellow. There's two of you here. The cameras are not going to be correctly alerting at the minute.
Yeah, the cameras are not going to pick up anything we do now, so I am not a fighty person, though.
Kill him to death.
I will, just kind of wait until he sort of gets in front of where I am and kind of take a few steps out, raise this blackjack and just smack it across the back of his head.
And Lucas is just nodding I'm looking, I'm like, do I have charm? Do I have fast talk? Do I have... No. Persuade? No. None of those. No social skills. Zero non-social skills.
It's a more blunt approach than talking your way out of a situation or using the pepper spray like Dina has in the past, but blackjacks are effective. Make a fighting brawl check for me, please.
Okay.
Is there a case for a bonus dice? Because they were hidden.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You were hidden, and also he doesn't get to... Yeah, 100%. Thank you for the clarification.
20, under 50. Yay. Colleen can hit things.
Colleen can hit things. Okay. Please roll for me your damage.
You could like it for the extreme. It's 10 points if you want the max damage.
And
not bad. That's almost certainly going to knock somebody out.
20.
It won't impale, so it'll just be a flat, guaranteed 6. It's up to you.
Yeah, go on. We'll do that. We'll give. We'll drop and just make it an extreme to just get a solid 6 points back of the head. This is very specifically a blunt object. I'm not trying to kill this man. I'm trying to hit him hard enough that he goes down.
Perfectly
or
fine.
or potentially is like dazed even. He doesn't need to necessarily be unconscious. Dazed is good enough to like then do something else.
How does your demeanor change when you go in for the swing? Is it or does it maintain in a sort of a bit of a weird way?
I think it's very like it's just bored in that business-like way of secretaries who've just kind of seen a lot. None of this. It's if Colleen didn't look like a stereotypical like jaded secretary, it would seem disconcerting. However, she does, so it isn't.
Yep. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Even with you know how to fight, but you don't have a great build. Even still, though, with a full D6 damage, you are going to hit the major wound threshold. So we'll have a 1d100 roll, which the thug is going to pass. So there is a solid crack, and the guy takes a few very wobbly steps forward and grunts in surprise. From the other side of the garden, you can see a brawl erupting, and we will proceed immediately across to dexterity order, which I think means, Lucas, you are going to have a chance to go immediately first.
So is the guard down?
No, he staggers forward. He's been hit in the head. It's a major wound. He reels, but he is not knocked unconscious immediately. That said, whenever he takes damage, you're going to have a renewed chance to knock him unconscious.
Oh boy. I don't even know what weapons. I'm not a fighty person. I've got a sawn-off shotgun in the car, and that's it. I've just got a shotgun.
Pretty loud. That's the only problem.
I mean, it's hit him with the butt of the shotgun.
Yeah,
you absolutely can. It's going to be a fighting brawl check, though.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can do.
Just try.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and
give him a smack.
Bonk him with the shotgun.
Okay, perfect.
No. Nope.
Nope, still reeling. This guy is going to try and dodge away rather than riposte. So as you come forward to swing with the shotgun, he still attempts to dodge.
He's good.
Throws himself sideways back against a tree, leaves a little patch of blood where his hair now matted sticks to it. What is your dexterity, please, Colleen?
It is
90.
a flat 50.
It is a flat 50. You have exactly the same dexterity as him, so considering that you
it's
were
going to be me
the
first.
ambusher, pardon me?
I'm on 60. I just want to clarify. I'm not joining.
You are in.
That's fine.
The...
I'm not going to. If Lucas goes through, I'm going to start trying to open a window and move in. So we can resolve that after. I'll just clarify.
Okay, so we resolve. Yeah, we'll leave you out of the fight then.
Yeah.
You are first then, Colleen. Please jump through.
Lovely. I will say, well, you're a large lad, aren't you? I'm gonna hit him again.
Oh. Here we go.
Nope.
Failure on a brawl.
No,
From extreme to extreme, this guy tries to dive out of the way again, stumbles on a tree root, and basically eats shit. From his hand, his turn was going to be to go for his phone to try and get out an alert, but it's in his hand when he falls, and it goes tumbling away and lands on the ground just a few feet away. On his turn, he's just going to scramble straight forward and pick it up. But both of you are going to have another chance to try and do something before he can get the alert off. That's it. On his turn, he's hitting the button. At the top, Lucas.
I'm getting the phone. I want the phone. I'm taking the phone.
Okay. Make a fighting brawl test. You could luck that down. Otherwise, if you just want to leave it, he basically just shoves you backwards. Like we said, you're a small guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to luck it.
Okay.
I want that phone.
All right. In which case, fighting maneuver, he is going to attempt to get a knot. You slap down, grab the phone from him. You can either scatter it way off into the bushes where he can't get it, or have it in your hand.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pocketing that.
Okay, slide it straight into your pocket, and we go across to Colleen. We get another whack.
No, I think at this point Colleen might turn around and be like,
Darling, you really don't know what you're involved in. So I think you should just stay down, because if you don't, I'm gonna make sure you stay down, okay?
Fantastic. Please make for me an intimidate check.
24 hard success.
I always love a very spooky intimidate on a not typically intimidating character. You loom over this guy. You're holding a baton which is dripping with his blood. He's still seeing stars, probably wanting to throw up with every movement that he makes. Hard to he backs up. Phone's gone. He's you two. You don't know what. It slides down the tree. I don't want trouble. Just leave me here. I won't say anything, okay? Just, he raises both of his hands. For what it's worth, you do see like a flash of that. He is just a guy caught a little bit over his head here. If you leave him here, he might, shortly go and get somebody, but you have at least extended the window and the two of you could race across now.
Or he might decide that he doesn't get paid enough for this shit and go home.
They might not pay him at all, based on what you've heard about the Church of Cosmic Science. He probably pays them.
He might just be like, I'm out. I'm
For the
out.
privilege.
This is not what I signed up for, and I'm out.
Okay, we're in a modern setting, right?
Yes.
And I work for a private investigator.
Absolutely.
Are you telling me I don't have a pair of handcuffs in my handbag?
I think it's reasonable that you could have them, but let's check. Why don't you make a luck check?
Okay.
I guarantee you
yeah.
I've got zip ties.
Yeah.
I don't. That's a
Lucas,
shame.
why don't you make a luck check too?
Excuse me.
Baby.
What the cat doing?
Baby.
No.
No, you look at the two of you look at each other
Retrieval.
like expecting the other to have something, and there's just silence for a few
Hit him over the
seconds.
head.
He's like,
Basically, this guy is dazed. He's not going to do anything for a little bit. Unless you want to stay here and properly secure him, your best bet is just to move quickly. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't, he has yielded. You're going to be able to get to the other side. It'll take him at least a couple of minutes before he does anything, if he indeed
Okay.
decides to.
we're out. Let's go, Colleen.
Yeah.
Let's make tracks.
I'll pat him on the arm as we go, and just, or as a sort of like
A sympathy
grandmotherly
kind of.
sort of way, and just add with full stale tobacco breath. Just be like,
We know exactly what we're dealing with here, darling. You don't. Maybe it's time to go get a coffee or something.
Okay.
You're gonna be okay.
Colleen, let's roll.
This is a terrifying
looking
vision of 39. This is fucked. I'm gonna be young
Yeah, no shit,
forever.
guys.
The two of you blast straight across to join Dina. Dina, on your side, you are now going through, and you're basically trying to find an entry point to the
Yeah.
house. Do you want to make? You can make a locksmith check to try and just get to the best possible thing, the way you see like a window, or otherwise you can make a spot hidden to try and find something that's been left open. You do have locksmith, I know, so if you might want to take that angle, especially after your
Spot hidden's
ripping
still way
success.
higher though, so
Okay,
if that works,
Sure. The
yeah, fuck it.
only problem with this is you're going to have to. It's just going to be luck whether you get a good door or not.
sure.
As in, like, it might lead into a bad room.
We're going for quick sticks.
All right. Make a spot hidden check. Perfect. You go over and you head to the back veranda. The door's slightly further away, so you decide to try the window first and open immediately. Just because you're nearby, you head over to the back door and you tap at the lever. Unlocked as well.
Yeah.
You can see where there are locks here that look like they're meant to be in pretty constant use. This isn't like they leave the locks undone inside the compound because they're not worried, but it's unlocked. And as you do a quick glance along before the others arrive, every one of the windows, the doors, the avenues of entrance here seem to have been left unlocked.
Okay. All right, curious. As the others are coming, I unshoulder my bag and drop it outside in a row of bushes, so that now I look more just like one of the other guards. Jam my taser and pepper spray into the pocket, and once the others arrive, I'll just open the door and we'll walk in.
Okay, perfect. The three of you step inside the house and take a glance around. You're at the bottom floor, just past the veranda. You can see to your right, there is what look like a series of ballrooms. You can see just through the doors, a lot of them double and wooden, plenty of space. To your left, it looks like you're heading into more kitchens, bathrooms, utility rooms, and that is going to lead you towards the garage up at the front eventually. From where you are, you can see the front entrance, and from this position, you will see the headlights begin to approach the front entrance and slow down. With a critical success on your drive order, you have outpaced anybody, any kind of reinforcements coming back, but you have not done that forever. People are arriving, but it's going to take them a minute or two to get in, to get parked, all of that
If
stuff.
anything, people might head out towards that now, so I would suggest we just make for the basement and start planning explosives / Operation Extraction.
Okay, perfect. You think that, by your guess, the entrance to the basement was pretty near to the garages themselves, so that would mean that you would want to turn left. Again, a nice clean building. Did either of the other two of you want to clarify anything or posit any other suggestions? Otherwise, it's turn left, head through the rooms towards the garages.
Mm-hmm.
Only other thing I'll clarify, I guess, is where possible, we'll just open a room and swing the GoPro across it so that in future we can go back and review footage and build a case and blah, 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 blah.
Perfect. You swing to the left and you go running down a hallway. There are two doors on either side. You open them both to swing the GoPro through. One of them is a library and one of them is a kitchen area. You head further down the hallway, still not seeing anybody around. I will get all of you, though, to make either a listen check or a spot hidden check as you're moving through this place. For me, this is going to be just if you get a sense of where the others are.
Oh, come on.
I will do spot hidden because it's my higher.
Okay, perfect.
Wow.
Thank
Hooray.
you. Somebody at least.
Okay.
Redemption.
You can see that, as you suspected, somebody is moving now from the garage out towards the main gate. You can see that there is a light on and somebody moving up on the top floor, but it doesn't look like there is anybody with you on the bottom floor. You have pretty much clean rein, and as a result, go even faster. You hit a T intersection corridor. To your left, there's a dining room and a kind of like meeting area with this large glass wall, and in front of you, a set of double staircases, one heading up, one heading down. The one heading up is very, very well maintained. It's beautiful. It's ornate. The one heading down is basically like a cupboard door open, and the steps are very giving big maintenance vibes, although there's very little dust all around it. You can't help but notice. To your right, everything the hallway leads towards the garages, as well as kind of a laundry entry area. You can hear movement from there as the cars start to pull in, but the three of you can just dart straight down into the basement if you'd like.
The only point was you mentioned that maybe the security room was on this level. So, Lucas, did you want to try and find that first, or?
I very much do.
Okay, do we want to split up at this point?
If they've got a whole bank of computers, like if they've got security in there and I can see, like what. Yeah, if I could see where Day might actually be on the cameras first, that would be good.
We also might lose connection when we go downstairs. I would suggest we split up though. I think we're short on time. So do you want to check that out? I want to head down the stairs. Colleen, do you want to come with us? Do you want to try upstairs and see what's going on up there?
Whatever is going to be more helpful. The other thing that potentially I could be useful for is there was a library.
Yeah.
And if there's any, I mean, if I can find a study or something to that effect upstairs, I do have pretty decent library use for digging through documents and finding things that might be relevant to the investigation of these people aren't who they say they are.
Works for me.
I will say that everything up here looks pretty manicured. They're still maintaining this impression up the top.
This is the facade.
If the library's on the bottom floor, it's probably been sanitized. Now, you might find, for example, if you go upstairs, like personal effects, people have brought books up there. But if you are looking for, the occult library, you'd expect
It's
it
all
to be
gonna be
in
in
the
the
Good stuff's in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
on your observers.
Yeah. So then I'll head down with Dina, but specifically I am looking for Day, but I am also like, if I can, I am a secretary.
It's a
I document
curiosity.
things. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, if I can find anything that proves that these people took Day outside of just he was in their basement, like if there was a reason for, I will be taking that for, further investigative purposes. And if they've done this to him, they might have done this to other people, and that's a useful piece of information for Mr. Day to have when he comes out and is fit and hale again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So 2 of you go darting straight down into the basement, looking across to Lucas. Lucas, the server room is literally next to the staircase.
Beautiful.
It's set away. So as you go, you take a quick peek up towards the garages, but it's right there at the first door that you take a look at. You can swing it open, and you can step right inside and take a look. A bank of computers, no one currently stationed on it. You can see the camera loop that you have set up feeding through. What is your intention here? You have probably enough time to make one computer use check briefly before everyone arrives, and then if you want to join, you're going to have to leave straight away. Otherwise, you're going to have to make some kind of check.
That is the plan. I think what I'd like to do, as fun as it would be to upload everything to the cloud, I think I just want to make it easier for us. I want to see if I can find Day on the screens.
Okay.
If I can see Day anywhere in here.
You dive in, you do a quick slam through. Make a computer use check for me.
Come on. Nuts.
Now,
So first of all, you go through, you flick through every single camera, and you do a loop on them. This has a full view of the facility and nothing in the basement. A couple of keystrokes, and you're able to confirm there is like a secondary system, but you cannot access it, at least not without time. You can push this. The penalty will be everybody else diffuses through the house, and you are now
and it makes
trapped
it
in the
harder.
server room. Otherwise, you can just cut your losses and you can go. And
you know
try
what?
and
I'm going to push it because I'm pretty stealthy, and I reckon if I have to stealth my way down to the basement, I can do that.
Oh,
It's right next door, and I can stealth it, time it.
We have a
sneak on down.
reoccurring theme of Lucas not caring about time pressure when there's enough information involved.
Correct.
If you stay in the computer room, you can hear footsteps coming. Make a push roll. The suspense.
That's worse.
Far out.
No.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, worse. That's okay. That's fine. It's good.
You
It's
start frantically going through this thing, and unfortunately, this one doesn't have a code just sitting at the ready for you to be able to input. Before long,
fine. No, this is some biometric bullshit or something.
yeah, you hear the footsteps go past. You can hear snippets of furious conversation, frantic words exchanged, some people hurrying. You hear the sound of something being dragged, which is either a good sign or a very bad sign. Probably
It's probably a bad sign. I don't know how that would be a good sign.
one of theirs is injured. The explosion, hurt people.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did blow a few people up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But currently, you are trapped in that room, and it's probably only a matter of time before someone comes in to check things out. Meanwhile, the other 2 of you head downstairs. You burst through into a very different vibed area. There's a really crummy carpet set over the entire place, and it's dank and dingy. It smells of mildew. You can see to one side there is a fairly heavy set of doors that are currently shut and that probably head in deeper to the basement. This area still is passably functional as a part of a normal house. There are a set of twin rooms, and one of them has plexiglass paneled walls. It looks like an interview room of some sort. You immediately, based on the research that you have get, start thinking about the Church of Perfect Science has a lot of like processing rooms where they'll help you, self-actualize and things like that. This looks like that sort of setup.
Cool.
Can you both make a power check for me?
Ooh. Wizard stuff.
All right, Colleen, you're busy lighting another cigarette to replace the two you already got on the go. Dina, you're not really buying into any of this magic stuff. I mean, this is a messed up cult, but it's a messed up cult. As you look towards the door, that closed double section heading deeper into the basement, every hair along one side of your body picks up like there's an electrostatic charge, but there's not. And you just feel sort of dread emanating from it. You're able to shake it off relatively quickly, but there is a pit in your stomach all of a sudden as you perceive that door. Something bad is behind there.
Okay.
Do I notice this? As in, do I notice that Dina seems off? Because for clarification, I think the highest skill on my sheet is psychology. It's 75.
I'm narrating to the camera so that for evidence purposes, and as we get into the room, I pause the narration and just look at the door for several beats.
Okay, in that case, after a beat or two, when Colleen's realized you've stopped talking, we'll turn around and just go, Dina, darling, are you all right?
Yes. Sorry. It's nothing. Just someone walking over your grave. Let's push on. I think he's probably through that door.
Most likely.
You head over to the door, reach down, touch the handle. It's unlocked, like everything else in the house.
Just to be clear, is this the double doors that are freaking Dina out, or one of the two?
Processing room. Yeah.
Okay, and you said there was a room on the other side. Is that also a processing room?
Yeah, you would guess that it looks a little bit like a police interview room. It's probably where everyone else sits so that they can look at the processing that's happening and not be seen.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Is there any filing cabinety things in that room? Any documentation that would be stored there, which might would they keep any records easily accessible for that? Or
while Dina is centering herself, you do a quick check. Yes, suddenly there are documents, large cabinets filled with things. It's not spilled all over the table or something like that. It's kept relatively neat. You can also see a bunch of, for want of a better word, kits that are filled with all kinds of deals, stress balls, a couple of weird hand puzzle things, then some other electrical equipment that you don't quite understand, all kinds of bits and pieces like that.
Okay, quick, are the file cabinets unlocked?
You head over to them and you have a brief check. Like everything else here, they also seem to be unlocked.
Great. Alphabetized, do I see a day?
You start frantically going through them. Why don't you make a library use check here? Not immediately. You don't go to D and there's just a file on day. There's a lot of files here, so it's not like this is where they keep their prisoners or something like that.
It's mostly no. That's fine. I'm not going to waste time on it. It was just if I could quickly find it, great. If not, it's fine.
No, this seems to be proper psychological profiles on all of the people that they keep here. It seems to be mostly staff-facing. It's not. It's for people who visit and are in the cult, rather than people that they drag in unwillingly.
That's fine. I will put everything back and head to go through the double doors with Dina.
Okay. And as we approach the doors, I will check in on Lucas. I imagine the connection is staticky at this point and, barely gets through, but I'll just say we found a set of doors and we're going further through.
I'm going to stay quiet and not say anything, but I'm going to start coming to them.
Okay.
Stealthily, knowing that I've stuffed it a little bit time-wise.
You're stepping towards the door, Dina, and just as Colleen is coming to rejoin you, you get that same surge, and this time it's more palpable. It feels like it's trying to deliver a message. There is something in you, and at the same time, it's not of you. It's quite disconcerting. it's a bit like when you stare at a dog and there's non-verbal communication or something like that. You know, there's just, you feel this sort of as if you're meant to know something, and it is once again trying to make you feel uncomfortable, trying to make you feel strange. As you open the door, you step forward into the real secret laboratory of these people, and you're going to see what the focus of those fears are. First of all, Lucas, can you make me a stealth check?
Oh no.
Oh, I sure can. So cat in front of the screen. I sure can.
Nice.
Finally, success on
fantastic.
something.
You leave like little splotchy footprints as you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. But you go darting straight down the staircase, and before long you'll be able to join the others. For simplicity's sake, we'll have you appear as the others.
Lucas,
behold
check out this
you appear.
cursed ass door. Come on
Exactly.
down.
So you open through, and you step into the larger area. You are on a gangway, basically, a small corridor that is overlooking a large central chamber. To your right, you can see that the corridor heads towards what looks like to you a laboratory. There are a whole set of banks of computers. It's not really mad scientist as much as like high school chemistry or something like that. It's a little musty. It reeks of all kinds of cleaning fluids. There's a lot of stuff there, a lot of the banks of computers right in the center, all kinds of odd bits and pieces, and a lot of paperwork all stacked around. To your left, there are straight up rows of like the corridor goes to a line of cells. Where you would assume people are being held currently, immediately. Day leaps to your mind. Ahead of you, there is this large chamber, and it's a little lower down, and it is accessed by a staircase right next to the cells. The entire chamber is filled with this network of spiraling sculptures, all of them in the loose shape of arches, or you can't help but think gates. They dot the room, and there are intricate pentagram weavings and arcane symbols and cables all netted together across them. In the center, there is this great big stand and a central one of these gates on the floor. And you can see there's like chalk diagrams everywhere, not just where they've been doing arcane symbols, but where they're like planning out blueprints to try and fix this process. It's some great machine, some central hub. You think back to the information that you received when you were looking into this. Try the idea of gates and a gate hub. If you were looking for something to explode, this seems to be the nexus of it all. The source of your dread, quickly, is coming from a specific gate, Dina. It is the one in the absolute center, and there is kind of a haze around it, as if there is heat coming from
Like a
the
gas
very
leak
center.
or something.
Something like that. It's immediately
Weird.
pretty thing to behold. All of you can make a sanity check upon witnessing this.
Yay.
Place is cooked.
This is what I'm built for. Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Sanity, sanity, sanity. You
Let's
think
go.
this
Crazy.
is the first time I've seen a gate move? This is nothing. Nothing is non-Euclidean yet.
There was a gate room in my college dorms. This is nothing.
Beautiful.
Give us the big hits,
There
Jim.
were other things in my college dorm. Don't worry about that.
Single point of sanity loss on a failure.
Nuts.
Rude.
Yeah.
Jim,
It's
hit us
never
with the
been
big
so
guns.
offended. Give us the big guns. I go into the gate. I go into the gate.
All right.
I bring Lucas with me.
You can go into the gate if you want.
Swan
There's
dive.
pedals. There's the laboratory.
So there's no scientists down here, and the door into this one was unlocked. On a quick check, if I try and just push open one of these random ass cell doors, are they unlocked as well?
You head over to the cell doors and you start to go along checking them. First of all, you can see that there are four. Two of the cells are unoccupied. One of them has a figure in them who starts to stir when you move. The last one is empty, but it is broken. The lock has been busted.
Cool. From the inside or the outside?
from the inside, as at a glance.
Hell yeah.
You can see that. You rattle the cell doors. Apart from the busted one, all of them appear to be locked.
So that's the only thing we've found that's been locked so far. Everything else has been open. Like we were able to just walk into this weird facility.
You haven't been thoroughly checking. You haven't gone and checked every single
But I mean,
door.
like the security place, like where Lucas went in was unlocked. We went through the double doors; they were unlocked, right?
Yeah.
Like we've just been basically walking.
You have strolled right in.
Yeah. They
you
want
can
us
try and
here.
make- Yeah,
It's a trap.
It's a
You
trap.
can try and make a check to reverse engineer. You can make a locksmith check to examine what you've gone through, see if there's anything different about these cell
I'm
doors.
kind of happy to take our luck and run with it. All right, well, this is illegal. You're not allowed to have prisoners, so I'm recording this shit. This is the case, and then I'll do that for a bit if the others want to look at anything, and then I think we go and talk to the figure in the cell. That seems like our next step, but that's what I'm doing first of all.
Yeah. I wonder if I could rig up like little explosive charges just on the locks of the doors to just blast the locks off.
Do you want to make an explosives test to?
I wouldn't mind doing that.
How-
I wouldn't mind it.
I can probably assist with locksmith to like lower the scope of the explosion
See if we can do it without explosives first.
without
but
killing this.
that's
Well-
kind of all I've got. Maybe like just a little bit, just a tiny.
Oh, I think it's a
little
great
bit.
idea.
Just a.
Well, while you all do that, I'm gonna go and have a look at these documents and files to see if I can pinpoint whether Mr. Day is the one in the cell, whether Mr. Day is the one who got himself out of the cell, and what happened to him if he did.
You'll be able to see
Yeah.
within a few seconds the figure that gets up is not Carl.
Okay. It's a fish
But
man.
you can go and you can do some double checking. Files, Colleen, you can check the ones that are sort of back in that processing room, or you could head into the laboratory towards
Yeah, no, the
inside.
processing room seemed to only have staff stuff, so I want the weird shit, please.
Okay, and in which case there is immediately going to be some mythos hits here.
Woo.
Surprising absolutely nobody. Could you please make a library use check as you dart over there? I will get the two of you to make, or either it's an explosive check from Lucas,
Nice.
I think with a bonus die applied by your locksmith. And while you were doing this, you were going to be able to talk to the person who is there.
Who immediately
Gonna lock
walks
it?
over to talk to us and is exploded.
I'm gonna luck it, which is putting me down at 8 luck, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's the last session.
I don't know. Would an extreme help, Jim? Because I got a hard success, but I'm 4 points off an extreme.
Extreme will get
Quattro
you
for
more
Maggio.
information, absolutely.
Great, then let's
Do
go
it.
in a stream. I'm on 39. Look,
Okay.
rock and roll.
You both kind of get some crossover information here. You're definitely in the lion's den of it all.
No, really?
There's another level further down.
You're going to get some additional stuff as well, Colleen, because you're looking through their files particularly. But because there's a conversation happening, we'll jump straight across, first of all, to this figure who moves forward. They're muttering under their breath, kind of, I'm sorry, and they get close. Blink at you once or twice, see that you're wearing these stained suits that aren't actually, by now they're like spreading and there's like weird, like almost tie-dye patterns coming across it of like.
Yeah, well, these
like
aren't doing
mixed-
very much.
No. And the person blinks and said, "Who are you?" They're a bloke, quite tall, hair cut back very, very short, in the same sort of haircut as a lot of the staff and members of the Church of Perfect Science seem to have. You get a little bit of it's another thug for the church vibe.
Okay. I stand up on my tiptoes so that the GoPro is over the edge and can see in. And then I say, my name is Dina Vellum. I'm a private investigator. And this is my colleague, who will go unnamed for the record. Who are you and why are you being held here?
He blinks for a few seconds and then he says, this is a trick. I'm not talking to anyone. I am still a loyal servant. I am still working towards the good. I'm ready to go back in.
No.
Whenever you need to, I'll step back in.
No. You've been brainwashed. This is. Are you familiar with the Church of Perfect Science? Is that who you're loyal to?
I am loyal to Cthulhu above all because, and he blinks once
Disregard
again.
that.
You can make a persuade check here. Otherwise, a psychoanalysis would all honestly be it. But this, I mean, you're trying to just sort of get through to this guy. It might be charm, not persuade. I'm just trying to think.
I think it's persuade. I'm not going for friendly. I'm going for give me, like, for the record. I think I go through official channels. Could I grasp?
Sure.
Sorry, my persuade is the same as my charm, so it doesn't matter. Actually, it's even lower. The other one I have is psychology, Jim. If I can get like a vibe off the old boy.
Yeah, that's totally fine. You're not actively trying to convince him of something, and then make a psychology check.
Okay, yeah. Let's hit him. Lucas, do you have anything you want to throw in, or?
I have no social skills. Zero,
Okay.
None.
You're playing with your explosives.
I've lucked my demolitions. I would like to be able to get the doors open.
It's ready. You now have this working, and
Little itty bitty little bits of explosives, just tiny ones.
just tiny ones. It's a Lucas special. It's practically a patent. You have learned how to do this, and because you got the success, we're going to say you taught Carl how to do this. Always keep something on you in case you get locked in.
Yeah, just like a little bit. You put it in. What you do is you wrap it up like it's a bit of gum. You just make sure never to put it in your mouth.
And when you check the final door, this is being detonated from the inside using what you would guess is your tactic. So you would assume Carl broke.
He's gotten out. He's escaped.
Carl's around here somewhere. Our mate's around here somewhere. He got out of his cell.
Okay, that's good. I have failed, Jim.
Okay.
Light a little lighter, and then open the other doors. Blink, 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 blink.
It's another one of these loonies, Dina. They just start going on about Cthulhu, about this cult stuff, mythos.
Give me a straight answer. Do you know the name Carl Day? Were you abducted? Do you have a family? What city are you from? Where are we? What year is it?
He starts like giving you I'm here of my own free will.
You're locked in a cell.
No comment. He's literally in a cell.
I think I'm so flustered and under stress that I start I realize I'm contaminating my own evidence. Like I start pressing him to give me answers that would not hold up in any sort of court. Like I'm speaking for him and then he's going no, that's not right. And eventually I step away frustrated. And then if Lucas has realized that the other cell had Day in it, I'm going to say, well, this man's useless. He's fully involved in this cult. We need to find Day. Day's the only answer. He's the only chance we have of figuring this out. What the hell's going on down here?
Okay.
Nice.
Across the other side in the laboratory, you start pouring through this information, Colleen, and I imagine there is some not ashtray shaped thing that you grab and immediately stub out a cigarette in as you start.
I mean, I assume there's if there's someone's leftover coffee mug, which I feel like Colleen on multiple occasions has used a coffee mug that is mostly empty to put cigarette ash in. She just sits down on whatever chair is in front of all this stuff, notes the coffee mug, pulls it a little closer and just smokes, taps it out, flicks a couple of pages over, continues doing that until the cigarette runs out, pulls it out, lights another, just puts the butt in the mug as well and just continues. Very focused study.
Okay, perfect. No, that makes total sense. And as you start going through the information here, it's what it looks like. This is
what does it look like?
This is a.
It looks insane, James. What are you talking about?
Specifically for Colleen, it's it is what it looks like. And Colleen's well, obviously, this is not the first gate thing. This is not the first, cultist symbols on the walls, not the first people in cells, not the first heebie-jeebies.
The first any of this. You've worked with Day long enough.
Yeah, it's this looks like mythos shit.
Yeah.
What particular brand of mythos shit are we dealing with today, darling? Give it to me straight.
Yeah, exactly. This is the squiddy kind of.
Is it? Yeah, cool.
Exactly. Although more specifically,
some kind of cult of Cthulhu. What, the devil?
It's a bad interpretation. Here's what's happened. The Church of Perfect.
Oh, Kutu. Yeah. I finally got it.
That's
I
very
just
funny.
got it. That's very clever.
The Church of Perfect Science appear to be operating on a garbled misinterpretation of actual sinister cult practices you've encountered before. They believe that there is a being called Kutu, and they are trying to explore Kutu's realm. They have been looking into all kinds of mysterious disappearances, translocations. They have been finding houses, including the one that started the scenario, where there have been evidence of gates forming, either through the practice of particular wizards or through natural phenomenon. And they have been trying to isolate them, to understand them in order to build a gate hub. They have the ultimate idea that this is going to allow them to transport themselves between different points on Earth, but more importantly, and this is what the grand one in the center is going to do, is transport them through to the realm of Kutu. They have been there. They have been exploring it. They have written extensive reports about how it is very dangerous there, about how, not because there's things trying to eat you, but they describe it as a great palace. They describe a purple landmass with oceans in the distance, and that time spent there is killing anybody who goes there without extensive protection. To that end, and you can see them stored in the side of the laboratory, they've collected a bunch of special environmental suits, which extends the amount of time they have, but is not effective enough to get them to be completely safe. They are also in a little bit of a panic, because their most recent field of study has been frantically trying to calculate how to follow up when one of the prisoners that they were holding broke out of his cell, and rather than go back up and wander through all of the armed security, went through the gate and has not been found since, until Carl popped up in Antarctica. That is their working theory, and it gets incredibly nuanced here, where they're trying to work out, details about time travel, details about the ability of Carl using a gate within Kutu's realm. It becomes garbled. But as you look back towards that central heat shimmer, you can see diagrams of what's essentially there. There's a trapdoor in the center that, when you enter in, contains an airlock. There's a few more suits on the inside, and you can then burst through, and you will be in the realm of Kutu. This is the extent of their plan at the minute. This is as far as they have gone.
So they don't have an objective. They're just kind of exploring it for the sake of exploring.
They believe they're trying to get in contact with Kutu, their god. They are exploring it because they believe it will lead them towards victory and success.
Success in
Kutu is the answer to all things. It genuinely branches across into their doctrine of self-actualization.
Okay, yeah,
so they believe that he is the harbinger, that he will allow them to ascend to godhood, and then you start reading about how all people are pure energy, and that that's why
they're not necessarily looking to end the world or kill all the. They're like, this is the next stage, and we can whippy dip up.
This is the next stage in human evolution: is to find this god and become united.
They're Scientologying it.
And become
they appear
fish.
to be genuine.
They are.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, no, that got through.
I think you say genuinely insane. A lot of this does read, I think, to Colleen still as deeply misguided, because there is a difference between someone who is actually insane and the idea of oh no, these are a bunch of people who have essentially managed to brainwash themselves. The people close to the top are probably a little deeply unhinged, but everyone else is no, you can see how you get brainwashed into researching this kind of stuff and getting involved, and where the line of you probably should have asked more questions, and maybe you know enough to know better, versus you don't know enough, you're here for reasons is questionable. But yes.
So
Day went through the gate and ended up in Antarctica. So the reports I read about him being in Antarctica were likely true. I still don't believe that he died in a hospital.
The interpretation would be that he went through the gate and that he emerged several days before he went into the gate in Antarctica. That is their working hypothesis.
Right.
You also find out, extreme success, on the note that you just said, a lot of the stuff that they have here is garbled. It makes leaps that are corrupted by their doctrine. You know, they find evidence about the mythos and then they immediately apply it to functioning within their strange religious structure. And as a result, go off on different tangents. This is not a logical set of ideas. This is not Mad Wizard. Well, sorry, it is Mad Wizard, but like not in terms of like a wizard who's succeeding and finding the truth. They are finding fragments and joining the dots between them arbitrarily. The second thing is that you find a lot more of these unlocked sections of drawers, and some of them locked. What you were able to determine with the extreme success, everything that sees frequent use is unlocked. Specifically, everything that's probably been used in the last couple of days. Everything that doesn't get opened frequently is rigidly locked and maintains like you find a log sheet about when they have to open like one of the cupboards because it contains a bunch of dangerous chemicals or whatever.
Weird shit.
It's as if they have suddenly stopped performing all of the very rigid quality controls that they usually do. You're not quite sure. Might
be rushed.
Might be panicked.
Would Colleen have learned either of the following? One, mostly I'm just curious about this. Did the church side of the cult exist before they got super into Cthulhu, or was it like they built it around this thing? Like, were they globe
Chicken
spanning?
and egg.
Yeah, which one came first? And the second one was, what's the original source of this documentation? Do they have like tablets somewhere? Like, what are they getting these from?
So first of all, the church absolutely has existed for a while. It starts before they get onto the whole Cthulhu stuff.
Yeah, so they were a run-of-the-mill cult, and then they became a capital C cult when they found out.
Exactly. Specifically, most of their information seems to be based off another large church organization, one that operated in California, actually, in the 1920s, roughly. It was involved. There was some kind of mass disturbance out in a series of parkland. They have followed the thread of the previous scenarios, and there is kind of they have found this mess of previousness and have now moved it into the modern times and butchered a lot of it.
And then as far as artifacts, is one of them listed the same totem that we destroyed? Did Day break out of his cell, grab the totem, go through the gate, go back in time, bring the gate to Argentina, we get the one, we explode it?
That appears to be the case.
So we can see them studying it, like they.
And the reasoning here is that they believe that since this is a holy artifact of Cthulhu, it will protect them when they head into Cthulhu's realm.
Oh yeah, they did talk about that too. Your camera's frozen a little bit, Jim.
Oh dear!
And you're making a really good face, so it's pretty.
I love that. Yeah, I can see that that's frozen. I'm not sure why.
Let me try. If you just no, you're good. We're back.
Oh, and back.
Easy as.
There we go.
Okay. What of this information is shared, Colleen?
What is shared?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I assume this is all getting collected at the same time as you two are having conversations with folks. So I would suspect the only way Colleen is moving away from this information if someone comes to get her. So it would be the two of you rocking up and Colleen just like rattling off a stream of information with little footnotes where she's going, well, they got this bit entirely wrong. Like the pronunciation's all over the place. While it's understandable that the lettering system is, it's hard to get it, but like it's closer to this. And I think Colleen has a closer idea of Cthulhu as a word, but still not quite there. Like it's still not quite the right word, but it's closer. Although I think also she knows that that's not probably right. Like she is. Yeah, she's like, and absolutely does go, oh, what we've got here is the squiddy kind of cult, one of this particular style.
One of the three most common flavors.
And just starts and will fully rattle off true, like not true believing, but like absolutely is like mythos stuff, weird things we don't understand, magic gates, time travel. Yeah, it just fully will reel off everything as in a way that is more logical than the cult, but absolutely to someone who was like, who didn't believe this stuff would be like, what the fuck do you mean time travel? What the fuck do you mean insane. Like gate to Antarctica? Yeah. So I will relay all the information.
Really,
I'm not trying to hide that I think that it is anything other than mythos because I believe in the mythos. Yeah. Just with a lot of like little anecdotes or like a footnote, like this is ridiculous. They got this bit wrong. Like they're not anecdotes so much as
fun facts.
She is accompanying everything that they have found and misinterpreted with what I like to refer to as 300 words of side-eye. So you're getting like 50 words of side-eye for every like couple things, which is like, this is ridiculous.
Feels like a sanity check moment, so I'll keep slowly bringing you all down. Make another sanity check, everybody.
I will make a pitch for I am a non-believer, and
yeah, so you can put it to the side.
Come on.
I'll have mine
later. Failure if you want.
I'll have mine later, please, and thank you.
Look,
actually, there's a bunch of weird shit, Danny. I'm just gonna roll it. I'd rather come on, fail.
Oh no. Okay.
You're succeeding because you don't
Do you
believe in
trade,
any of this.
Colleen?
I'm succeeding because this is exactly what I expected all along.
I mean, I feel like out of the two of us, while this is less rattling, it's a little disconcerting that they have misinterpreted so much and they're going, I think my sanity loss is more like these people are doing dangerous things and fucking it up.
I think mine is I just
don't understand.
And it's also you just sliding further down into like, everything's mythos, everything's cult, and the way that it's so easy now to just blurt out how all of this and the squid ones, like it just shows that your mind is flipping into this other world, and it might be harder and harder to pull back.
Yeah. What's the loss for that one? Just one?
Just a single one.
Cool. Do I get any extra mythos for this?
Sure. No. Why not? Why don't you add a point of mythos for the sanity that you lost?
Yay for that.
All right. So, is there anything else down here? Are there any corners that Day could be hiding in, or is it kind of just the great big gates from here?
From here, it's the gates. You cannot. You get told that there is an airlock through the gate. That's the only other corner. Conceivably, Carl could be in the airlock.
I doubt it. All right. I think, Dina recoils from all the information being said and just stutters through a string of that doesn't make sense, none of that can be right, blah, blah, before coming to the uneasy realization that whether it's true or not, the logical next step is the same regardless. We plant a fuckload of explosives here, and then we go and have a look at their gate. If we can get through, then we reevaluate what we consider true. If we can't get through, we've done it. And we've gotten information either way, so... Do you want to plant your bombs,
if Carl's
Lucas?
In the gate, I'll plan to blow the gates.
Yeah.
Look, if Carl's inside, we probably want to check first.
Yes.
The implication, though, is that he's not.
The implication is that he's not, but he might be in the airlock.
The explicit implication is that these people are insane and have no true understanding of the world. Regardless, though, let's follow
the thing is, though, so he was in Antarctica.
It's
several days
allegedly.
Ago. And then I got a phone call saying that he was in a hospital in Amsterdam.
No, Argentina.
Argentina, sorry. Yeah. Argentina. And then that hospital was gone / exploded / something. How many days ago was that?
But he was also here, and we saw him getting bundled into a van. He's been in several different places.
So just so like my brain... because I don't obviously have the historical context for all of this, is it reasonable that these people got him from Argentina and brought him back in the time it's been since we found all that information out and now?
No.
Okay.
Because and they didn't bring him here. He was just strolling along the street and they nabbed him.
Yeah.
And we saw that happen.
There was a
So-
meeting set, and they saw
Yeah.
Carl get bundled away and taken here. Just before the meeting was set, where they were going to meet Carl, they received a call from a hospital in Argentina saying that Carl had been found in Antarctica and was being flown over, and he'd been asking after them.
Yep. All right. Do you want to rig this nonsense to hella explode?
Mm-hmm. I have let everybody else out. So everybody else who was in a cell is now poofed out. And I can start to rig some bigger things, accumulating at the gates.
I'll grab some snappies, and then I think it's flipping gate time.
Okay.
And don't have
Perfect.
them auto explode because I don't think this gate's going to work. I think we go down into the airlock and then we come right back up and need to get out walk out of here.
Oh,
so
yeah,
let's
no,
not,
this is not an auto situation. This is a we can trigger it.
Okay, awesome.
And we're analoging this. I'm not relying on electronics here.
The only thing that Colin will go raise is there is a chance that if these gates work as they described, and I think Colleen is speaking directly to Lucas at this point because it's clocked that Dina just isn't willing to hear it.
Yeah.
That having something auto detonate at a longer stretch of time if we don't end up back here. Because yes, they detonate, the gates close, we get trapped. That's not great. We want to give ourselves a decent amount of time. But if we manage to make our way through and come back at a time where the explosives don't actually exist in our timeline anymore, then we're going to need something to auto go because we've got to get back here in theoretically a week to then press a button. So I guess we could wait out the week, but maybe on the off chance we don't make it, having something auto explode to make sure they can't keep doing this is a good idea.
I'm going to throw one more spanner in the works. As you're having this conversation, you hear the door to the basement open and voices start. So you are under time.
And I'm going to take a kitchen timer out of one of my pockets and set it to it's like a big one, 2 hours, and be like, we've got 2 hours. You're
trying to get final evidence. This is the best place you're going to be for it, Dina. Photography. Explosives from Lucas trying to blow things up.
2 hours.
Everyone has a little niche. Colleen, what would you like to do with your last moments here? Anyone who doesn't want to, as well, anyone who doesn't want to put on the spend time putting on one of those suits as they recommend.
Oh hell yeah! I'm not doing
and have
that
a bonus die.
Yeah, I'll take a bonus.
All right, hell yeah.
Yeah, fuck the suit.
Hey, perfect, extreme. So worth
I would
it.
like to. I think Colleen has taken a bunch of shorthand notes because, again, shorthand, she does have analog for this. She'll take a bunch of shorthand notes about what was in those documents and then actually spend the time putting on a suit because she's not... She's...
You believe.
Colleen believes and is also
Steve.
actually quite intelligent and is like, oh, no, they said that this place was dangerous. Unless there's anything else I can glean from the notes about what is causing this bad stuff to happen to them when they're in the gate realm and how we could mitigate it, and if there's something other than the suits or in addition to the suits that would help protect us.
Okay. That
possibly
makes sense.
also from my own using what they have and then my own understanding of stuff that I've seen before.
I mean, that's going to be a survival or a Cthulhu mythos or a medicine, I think, is the angles for that.
Medicine, I have that.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
I don't have survival because those technically are separate skills, and my Cthulhu mythos is 6 now.
Roll it. And
so
then
let's
push
go
it.
medicine.
Okay.
Ooh, hang on. Sure, have 11 points of luck.
All right, brilliant.
I got it, let's spend it.
This, so what they write appears to be the idea that basically these environmental suits are not going to do much anyway. What is going to help here is having a really good attitude and trying to hold yourself together when you break into the other side where the laws of physics and logic no longer apply. Power rolls is the situation. Researching this, you can center yourself a little bit before you head over, and you can also take a stock of your two companions, one of them who looks like they are every kind of conspiracy nut, and one of them who is staunchly refusing to acknowledge any of the weird stuff.
Delightfully, I think the conspiracy nut is going to do better.
Oh no!
I hope
no,
so.
I'm built for the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crumble. It's gonna be great.
I'm already preparing my argument for a penalty dice.
Yeah, knowing that the suits aren't actually required, it's mindset. I think like, is there anything? Actually, no. I don't even think I have fast talk, and I don't particularly want to lie to these people. I'm just.
You're also at a time for the minute, so you might have a chance to do that on the other side, but things escalate. So fantastic pictures taken. You have every little bit of evidence that you could have possibly wanted here, all stored on this lovely camera. If only you can get it out. But with an extreme sense, you probably text a couple of the key ones. You modern age. Right?
I think we're under the ground. I think it's valid that it's all in the camera.
Yeah, we will see if we need to go back and resolve the direction. But Lucas, another extreme success on explosives. It is you just lathered this thing, and how are you setting it to go off? What's your plan? You could set it to go off like literally just as you go through the gate. You could set it to go off like a minute from now. What's the call?
Well, I think the call was we want it to go. I mean, we want it to go off, but we didn't want it to be like an immediate thing, and we also don't want to have to trigger it. So I think I'm giving it like an hour.
Yeah,
an hour,
just in case we can get back through.
Yep.
Okay.
But the way I'm going to rig it with the extreme is I want it like unnoticeable. Like I'm rigging it in like the skirting board and like like with a fine wire around the edge. Like you're not going to be able to see it. Basically, they're not going to know it's there unless they're really looking hard for it. And it's just going to go.
So it's completely subtle. I love that. Yep. Perfect. In which case,
you've got an hour?
Yep. You set the explosives, you gather together, you see that Colleen is in this full environmental suit at this point, which you haven't put on, but no matter. You go rushing forward, arriving at the little sort of heat shimmer haze in the central gate. You can see there is an airlock in the floor, one of those old submarine hatch style things which you twist, pull open, and start to climb down into. You can hear the footsteps in the conversation getting louder. And to your surprise, you recognize one of the voices. It's not James, that'd be too cool. It is Tegan. It is the woman who was in the center of the explosion. You'll hesitate just long enough before you go back to see the set of double doors open. You hear a cry, "Why isn't any of this locked?" from behind Tegan, and you see the woman who was caught in the middle of this fireball, this giant explosion. Her hair is singed. She has soot and like charred bits of like material on her, but her skin, her flesh, her body appears relatively unharmed. Lucas, you remember the dream you had. They can get back up, flashing into your mind. She raises the finger and points and starts screaming at the top of her lungs, just as the heavy airlock door starts to...
I'm going to also raise a finger at her, but it's a different one.
Perfect. Fair enough. And you can shut yourselves in, unless any of you would like to stay and confront the gang.
That would nuts.
All right. You slam down the airlock, and you can feel this shimmering around you. I need everybody to subtract for me 1d6 of magic points. I need you all to also make for me a constitution roll. I need all of you to also make for me a power roll.
Yes. No.
Hey.
Is the power one the like understanding one?
The power, the power roll here is to do with not dying.
Okay, all right.
Do I get the bonus then on that one?
Yes, you did prepare it for that, so the power roll is there.
Instantly explode.
Nice.
67 over 60. I mean, 7 points of luck to not immediately die, I guess.
Okay. It's not immediate. It's a lot slower and more painful. It took Carl Day several, days to finally expire. You shut the airlock door, and suddenly you are in this small little room. The heat haze exists for a couple of seconds, and suddenly all of you start to feel incredibly ill. Anyone who failed their constitution check,
Me.
you are almost floored. You can throw up if you would like. Your character immediately just starts feeling
enthusiastically.
awful. Something is terribly wrong. This is every version of like a plane going down, of that like hypnic jerk right before you fall asleep. It's all of those movements caught in at once. And as you look down at your own hands, you feel like you're on some kind of drug or something. It almost feels like they're blurring a little bit. You look back towards where the door was and realize it's there and it's not there. It doesn't make sense. Suddenly, geometry doesn't seem to be working properly. Your eyes aren't logical. When you reach out to touch something, your hand comes out over there, and your brain is somehow able to perceive it all at once. Immediately.
We've been drugged.
You can all make a sanity check. You are believing you're being drugged. I love it.
So constitution failure, power success.
Yeah.
What's the
Conditions of this? If you fail a constitution roll for the next quite a while, you are almost floored and unable to actually going to take a penalty die on anything you attempt to do.
Sick.
Cool.
If you fail the power check, note it, because your character is now acutely feeling the effects of being in this alternate place, and the integrity of their body is starting to fall apart.
Cool.
I have hard success and a lucked success. So I think Colleen is standing there looking relatively like squiddy shit.
Could be worse.
I've got a flop sweat, but I'm pushing through.
Colleen is managing. It is okay. Lucas, pushing
Managing
through.
mentally.
Yeah. Dina, how are we looking?
Floored,
finally.
but mentally
Let's
fine.
go crazy.
Oh, no, how
Let's
come?
go crazy.
Oh.
Let's go crazy.
Can I have a penalty on my sanity roll, Jim? Because I've tried to avoid this.
Sure. Let's go.
Let's go. I got 99.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Fail.
Fail. With a fail, we're going to do, I think, a
Big
D4
numbers.
plus 1.
Ah.
That's still a potential for an immediate.
It is. And I think it's definitely one for... Bailey, you fumbled. Yours is the max.
Oh, it is too.
No, you didn't. Oh yeah, 96.
Oh, 48.
Perfect. All right, Bailey.
So I'm 5. I'm a.
I'm so pissed.
Make an intelligence check for me.
Come on, Alex. Show off your build. Extreme success. Oh.
Seriously?
That's okay.
I built him for one thing.
Do you want to luck it?
With my 8 luck.
Yeah.
Given that Dina failed though as a non-believer, is there any implication for that?
Yeah, if I'd learned a bunch of things, I would now take the penalty, but I've just been taking hits.
Okay.
I wish.
You feel this, like, Lucas, what's going through your head then? Tell us through. You hit your bout of madness point. What do we?
Did I?
What do we see?
Not indefinite. You just hit it.
No, just 5. About.
Yeah.
But you don't. Nothing's gonna happen because you don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's still a massive. It's still a massive hit.
I think it's just he just feels so bad physically, just so bad. This is like the worst hangover he's ever had. This is just so bad. Like, it's he's just fragile, just pushing through, but just so fragile. And the next thing that it's gonna push him over the edge. Or is it?
Fair
It's
enough.
just,
Yeah,
like flop sweat going grey. Looks like he's about to vomit. It's just
you
bad.
need to get out of here because otherwise you really feel like your body is about to fall apart. So you rush forward, you grab a hold. Somehow, forward isn't really the same direction as it usually is, and you're not quite sure your feet are touching the ground, but you seize
like
a
this.
hold of the bulkhead again. You twist, and suddenly the three of you spill out. And
Gotta get out.
you are standing inside an enormous it's kind of ancient Greek temple, but the scale is
Oh no.
incredible. Pillars that are larger than skyscrapers, and they are scattered along. The sky is this orange brown storming swirling mass, not of clouds but of like gritty kind of wriggling, like a load screen texture or something like
Ecstatic?
that. Not quite. It's too flat even for static. And then around you there's these choppy purple waves in the distance. You can see around you further down along this temple there are these like sudden cut sections that go down with staircases that appear to lead deeper into a network of tunnels, and you can see scattered along further away more of these gates. You have just stepped out of one of many archways. There are heat hazes in some of them. There are not heat hazes in others. And the last thing you see before I shut the hell up is that right next to this gate there is like a scratching, a desperate scratching where somebody has used a rock, maybe a tool that they smuggled, something to carve a little marker here. Presumably it was Carl. I think Dina's reaction is probably the most relevant here, considering you don't believe any of this. What's the a scream. Perfect.
I scream for a while. Yeah.
Your voice rings out. There's kind of this bubbly silence around you where it seems like it's noise cancelling headphones, and something weird is happening where the silence feels oppressive, but the screen pops through and comes back, and then silence. The three of you are just standing there once again, continuing to feel slowly more and more awful.
I pace around the area for a while sluggishly and just take it in, all the time between looking back where we come. And I'm out of commission for a good beat or two.
Fair enough.
Is the symbol recognizable as anything, or is it just a marker?
It's like a Boy Scout marker. It's just like, remember this one, I came from here kind of thing.
Okay. I want to I'm not super observant is the only problem. But I do have a bit of Cthulhu mythos, not enough to help. How does, if we just walk through a gate, is gonna do anything?
Make a call of Cthulhu check. Make a Cthulhu mythos check.
Watch me fail. Nope.
No.
It's not
Do you want to
anything bad,
spend
but
82 points of luck?
Of my remaining 21, sure.
Unfortunately, not quite gonna work.
A little
but,
chip in.
You walk out of the center, leaving Dina a little bit, and you stand and you glance across this whole thing. Gates are unpredictable magic, and you realize this is the same situation that Carl probably found himself in. You look up and down, it's pick one. There's no way to predict, but you're just going to have to fire through and hope that you don't end up a million years ago, or in Antarctica, or on Pluto. At this point, you don't know why and how these things are connected together, especially because you're pretty sure that whatever was left behind is going to be messing with it. So with a fail, no. But I will say one thing: you do have a little bit of Cthulhu mythos. We have established, a little bit about the squid people. As you look around, distant tales, stories about a city at the bottom of the ocean, of cyclopean ruins. This isn't that. Whatever domain this is, it's certainly not Kutu's.
Huh. Stupid cult.
Well, given that they weren't using the right word for it.
Egypt.
Egypt's.
I'm gonna,
Stupid
yeah.
ass cult.
They just found. They found
Something?
a thing that might take them to the realm they're looking for, but it isn't the realm they're looking for. So.
Are we gonna blow this one too? And it's got like handfuls of plastics.
No, darling, we're gonna find a door and we're gonna walk through it together.
Okay,
We just
which
need
one?
to work out which one we gotta. I mean, we could try going through the one we came through. If we're lucky, it takes us back, but at a different time. Or we can try a different one. Just the two of you don't have suits on, which might make going to space a little bit dangerous.
I don't want to go to space.
So, if Day
wanna go to
actually
space.
came through here, if Day actually arrived in Antarctica and he actually went back in time, if we're taking that at face value, which I guess we are, and for the record, everything previously discounted is now being considered as fact. If we can
I don't
go
know
through
at
the
what
same
point
one he
it
went
wasn't.
through. If he only just escaped not that long ago, he was only abducted a few days ago. He probably only blew the explosive and went through the gate. We're possibly only we're possibly only an hour behind him. If we go
Time
through,
doesn't seem to work
we might
that
be able to
way.
find him, but we might be able to find him in Antarctica. We might be able to save him and stop him being
Might be
killed
able
in
to find it
Argentina.
before we got ganked in
Okay.
the first place.
If that's the case, he put a little mark on this one.
Okay.
So let's see if we can find the mark on another one of these. Maybe he marked the one he went through.
Okay.
And if he didn't mark another one, then we go back through this one that he marked.
Okay, and listen, Colin, you worked with him for years. You know how he thinks. You're in his head. You're also aware of this Stranger Things. I worked with my dad, and I mentored under him. Listen, I run back to the gate we came through, and I stand in front of it, and I'm gonna like hold Colleen next to him. And go, all right. Think like Day. You arrive here. Where do you
Psychology.
go? And can I
Please.
assist Colleen on a psychology test to try and guess which
Absolutely.
gate he would have gone through? Yeah.
Yep. Make a psychology test. I love it.
Colleen pulls out a fresh cigarette that already looks battered, lights
Time
it, closes
cigarette.
her eyes, and you can hear her like talony fingernail tapping on the little like metal of the cigarette lighter that she has, like one of those Zippo lighters, like they're all like fancy ones. You can hear it tapping, and that's the only sound while she sort of like thinks. Tries to put herself in the mind.
Come on, extreme success.
Oh,
Let's get one of Art's classic. Oh.
I mean,
Push it.
61 is still a success.
61 is still a
good.
success. Okay, so a little flashback. You're in a cafe with Day. You're chatting with him. He's telling a story about how he got lost one time, and he said, "I always had a strategy I would do whenever I'm lost." And then he hesitated and goes, "Give me a second. I need a pee," and he rushes off. And it just occurs to you, those cells didn't look like they had great amenities. You peek around, you spot a conveniently placed column, and then you backtrack. If you just walked out after ducking behind the column for just a minute, that's the closest gate. And you look across 2, 1 at the side, and leading Dina over, you will be able to see 2 markers now, scratched in.
Nice.
So we know that that's the second one he went through at a minimum. There might be more if he went through and then ended up back here, is the thought. So we can try this one and see where it goes, or we can try looking for a third. We can try looking for a marker that is the highest number.
If we spend any more time here, I think my lungs are going to come out through my nose. I'd like to leave. And as
You
soon as
don't
possible.
currently
go.
have a nose.
Then
Let's
let's
just go.
get me one back.
Let's just go.
all right.
Let's just go.
Does anyone have a decent like spot that could do
Yes.
a quick glance to
I could
see
do a
if there
quick-
is
I could
anything
do a
else we
quick
can see?
look. I've
But
got
like
50. I've got 50.
I think I'm
I
going
know
through
you
the
two are
gate.
going with.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would probably be the best one because I don't have a disadvantage currently.
I'd have the penalty. Although, do we still have the penalty from the being in the other area, or?
Yes, you are still disturbed at this point if you failed that. And I'm going to
Deeply.
get you to make another check again. If you decide to stay longer, you'll have to make one just before you leave at the minute. If you decide to stay
Yeah.
longer, you have to make an additional.
All right.
Okay.
I think then,
We just go. Let's just go.
yeah. If taking the time to look around will make this too
Just-
long, then yeah,
yeah.
we'll just step through and see what.
Let's just go.
YOLO.
Is there anything Did these look like these? You know what? I know Day. He would have had probably as much idea as Colleen about whether or not these gates needed anything to function, because I'm assuming in the notes I didn't see anything about them needing to like activate them. I think you just, Colleen
Just go.
goes, well, and just steps through.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even, there's not even like a shimmering portal or something like that. There's just a haze. And as you step through this section of it, plunging into the thing, your companions see you just sort of walking forward. And if they're not experimenting, waiting to watch, they'll follow afterwards and soon.
Oh yeah, no. As soon as Colleen starts moving in, I don't want to be left alone. I'm out of here. I'm going.
Okay. Means Dina, you're left the last one.
Oh no, I fucking charged that as soon as it was over. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Okay. In which case, you're just blasting forward. You can't see particularly well because this heat haze is in front of you, and you keep trying to sort of splash it in front of your eyes. I need another power check, and I need another D6 of magic points, please.
Come on.
Yower.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
All right. Brilliant.
I'll be dead in the ground before you get that point of luck.
Brilliant. So,
do I still have a bonus for these powers? Because I was like, I technically didn't fail my last one.
We're just going to do on the first one, I think, because you kind of it's you can only steal yourself for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's you've got one fail, Lucas, on the power?
Mm-hmm. And one success.
One fail, one success. Dina, you've got one fail and one success.
Oh no, I've got two successes. I failed the Constitution.
Failed the Constitution. Okay.
So I've got two successes on power. I'm doing fine on power, weirdly.
Succeeded
Dino,
then failed.
Succeeded and failed. And Colleen?
Likewise, succeeded and failed.
Succeeded and failed. In which case you're moving forward. You're swatting at the heat wave in front of your face, and suddenly it's not heat, it's snow. And you find yourself all assaulted by this flurry of freezing conditions, and blinking your eyes, you are going to emerge in the very, very early morning, standing in the middle of a great segment of snow, where behind you a complicated structure of ice has melded together into a pattern of like a sort of a bizarre archway. There is a very clear series. There is a very clear series of footprints heading straight away from the gate in one direction.
And we follow.
What's the penalty of the power failure?
Go back through.
Pardon me?
What's the penalty of the power failure?
It's a long term. It's tracked.
So I go nuts.
Right. Yeah, you still feel pretty bad. Is the idea?
Beans.
I will note I am in an environmental suit, so I'm hoping that helps with the cold.
It is going to help with the cold, absolutely.
Great.
I think follow that, and we're calling out for Day.
You stagger forward, following the tracks, stopping faster and faster, and before long you do see a shape in the distance. You are going to wave, and turning back, you will see the shivering shape of Carl Day for the first time since you'd seen him strolling so happily along the sidewalk towards the diner before he was
happily abducted.
Exactly. He's clutching in his hands a small jade green idol, and he's looking out, and his eyes just. Dina, look at Cole. Oh my! He starts stomping back towards the three of you as quick as he can. Say, I got stuck in a. Did you come through too? What's happened?
Yes, Mr. Day. It's cold. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. We're gonna do, and I'll try to. Do either of you have reception?
I'm gonna check my phone.
They took my phone.
I'm gonna check both my phone and the Cold guy's phone.
None of them show reception, unfortunately. Coverage is not great in Antarctica, tragically. Yeah. Day looks between. How'd you get? You didn't do something time travel-y, did you, to get here?
I think we did.
I think we have.
I think we did. I'm starting to think we did. Hey, should we blow that one too? Should we just get a head start on ourselves?
If we've got more, but remember the state the day arrived in. We need to get out of here. If we want any chance of surviving this, we need to go. And then need to, and then we know people are going to come for us in the hospital, so we need to be prepared.
Yeah, I think this is the best possible outcome. Let's go.
Wait, so I've already arrived. You know what's going to happen?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You die.
You can't change anything like that. Don't change what's happening. What did I do? Tell me what I did.
You ended up in a hospital in Argentina.
Where you were assassinated. No, we're gonna change it. If there's any use to any of this madness, it has to be changeable.
Yeah, you did also. You also ended up back on the street.
But that was the first.
That was before.
I think.
That's behind.
That was before, even though it was after.
He lowers the eye.
It makes total sense.
Wind's blowing around you. He said,
I really want to blow up that statue, though.
Lucas, Sure. He kind of thrusts the statue into you. Dina, I didn't want any of this for you. I'm sorry. I tried.
We gotta walk. We gotta move. Otherwise, you're gonna freeze to death, and I'm gonna freeze to death, and she's gonna freeze to death. She might be fine.
Colleen, I'm glad you're here. He looks around again. I don't think you should change it. I don't think you should. But if you want to, if you think that's the way, I mean,
we've already changed it by being here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. What? That room in there, that thing needs to be destroyed. That's the important thing. That's what. Were you all having dreams as well?
Which room?
The one with the portals in it. The one I escaped from next to the cells.
Okay, the one in the mansion's basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be destroyed
it's going to be.
About 3 days.
7 days and an hour, or however long it is. We set everything to go an hour after we stepped through the portal, and if this timeline is, then we're about
3 days.
3 days before that.
Yeah.
So technically, in the timeline that we came from, it should go.
Oh, so I suppose I can't blow this now, because if I blow this now, then none of that happens. Oh, fine, and I'm going to thrust the idol back today.
Everything needs. If you succeeded, then everything needs to happen the same way.
I guess.
So that means that you need to be found on your own.
Yeah.
And we need to.
It just needs to be reported. It just needs to get to us that he was on his own.
So we can get him. Because the thing is, no one person is going to have. Sorry, I'm out of character, but I think for acting wise, accents. No one person would have survived the Antarctic on his own. So there's a solid potential that we were here and helped Day get to the hospital and just weren't.
Give him your suit.
Reported.
Give him your suit. And we go back through.
Was he found in a suit?
No, we don't need to go back through. None of this matters. It's just what gets reported to us. That's the only thread that we need to connect.
Yes.
Day doesn't even need to die. We were just told that he was. We never saw a body. We get there, we get resources, and we stop this. We save Day, and then we spend our time taking down the rest of this cult. No one needs to die here. It was only ever reporting.
Actually, that's fair. If you're right, if we only ever got a note that he died, and
we tried to follow up.
The hospital did get blown up.
Yeah,
I think I know what happened.
And all of Scunthorpe's goons come through to do some research. We get in touch with them. We use our information of Scunthorpe to know what we can say, and we twist it around. We get ourselves out of there.
So essentially, we are going to make sure that the information that reaches each of us is what we received.
That's
because
the most
we're the ones
important
that are gonna. Because was it an anonymous tip off essentially? Like
no, he called.
He was found at a research station in Antarctica by scientists. He appeared there, and they flew him to a hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the doctor that sort of was going to be attending to him called up.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm technically trained in medicine. So
let's go.
I could pretend to be a doctor, I'm sure.
I think we just let them do it. We just tell them, say he was by himself and we'll give you money. Like, you know.
What about this? And he looks down at the idol.
You gotta hang on to that.
And no, it needs to go to Chicago as soon as possible with what's her nuts.
this is important. When I started looking into this, all of this, have you been having dreams?
In about a day and a half, I'm gonna blow it to smithereens.
And it's gonna be sick as.
Well, I've been dreaming of this thing. People have been weird to me. There's been luck. I've found doors unlocked. People have whispered numbers to me on the train that ended up being security codes that I needed to. Colleen, you and I know a little bit about this. What they're worshipping, what they're researching, they're doing it wrong, and they're doing it in. And he looks down at the idol. They're doing it in this thing's name, and I don't think he's happy about it.
Oh,
Well,
which is why I think what's going to happen to this is it's going to get into the hands of Lucas right now. Because Lucas, I think you need to hold it for a little bit so that starts to happen to you, so you get those dreams you were talking about. And then via you, I think it's going to Chicago and it's getting dropped off because you're sneaky and you know how to get through security systems, and it gets dropped off in Chicago and such finds it. We didn't know how it got there, but it sounds like you might have had a part to play.
I mean, the hospital got blown up.
Boom.
Okay.
Well,
I don't think we should blow up a hospital. That seems fucked.
Did we not already do that though?
I
Is that not
did the
already
hospital,
a
I thought
thing
you just got
we've done?
assassinated. I thought you just got shot. Did the hospital blow up, Jim?
You heard a phone call.
And then we had
where
a gunshot or something, right?
Oh,
threatening
gunshots,
voice
yeah.
Said James Scunthorpe, and then it didn't call him traitor, so it can't have been any of you.
No, it wasn't one of us.
Really matters.
Didn't swear at him.
I mean, it might have been me.
I mean, but you know he's a traitor now.
I do, but it's not going to say.
can just not say
we
it.
cannot say it.
Let's apply the
We gotta
plan.
go.
I'm afraid we do. In which, so what happens
Otherwise, we're
then
gonna freeze to death.
is that the collection of you are going to have to trudge forward and go out into the Antarctic, searching desperately for a base, so that you can try and recreate everything that has happened so far.
Can this
Just the
whole
way
thing
it is.
happen
The
in like
mindset thing, though, for Colleen at least, the mindset thing is this already happened, so we cannot. Like it will happen. Like we will find. Dave found a base. He will find one again. All of this happened. It will happen again. We just need to make sure that we like flow with it, and it will do the thing.
There's definitely been a lot of luck in your favor. It was wild that you just happened to be arriving right when the scoop up was going to happen. It was wild that there just happened to be a flight leaving from the research base towards Argentina just when Day decided to rock up. And if there is some kind of strange luck out here that is looking over the collection of you, it's definitely going to be it's going to be key in moving this. That said, we are, I'm afraid, out of time. I'm going to wrap. Sorry, yes.
I just think it's really important that this whole remaining scene happens in like a Ocean's 11 style heist montage where all the camera shots from earlier now pan around to show us just off screen,
like hiding in the background,
or whatever, you know, like when the doctor, it's us. You hear the gunshot off, then the film continues, and it's us going, "Wow, great job!" and passing the money and hanging up the phone and things, you know, as it just goes through all the threads until we get out the other side.
Of the mansion.
Yeah, exactly.
An hour,
and we're standing watching it.
In the future.
Very good.
I think there's also like Colleen would take to heart the Day saying that they're doing all of this in Cthulhu's name, and Cthulhu's not happy about it. And it's like, great, if you keep this luck going, we will make sure. Like if this little section of time happens as it did, this statue no longer exists in this realm, this timeline, and that gate thing doesn't either. So we kind of, if there's some way to key into like, obviously the implication is it's watching over us anyway, but like being like, hey, if you keep doing this for just like a couple days more, this will all be done and you don't have to worry about people doing dumb shit in your name and fucking around with your front door anymore.
Or it's a good idea, but the other, are you watching over yourselves? You know, is it the Ocean's 11 thing? Is Lucas, frantically sending weird text to people in the middle of the night with strings of digits that he already knows to be the code because he told himself
I'm the one with the burner
already.
phones.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, anything from an unknown number is the guy.
Yeah.
we will have to, I'm afraid, fade away and pan up as the collection of you walk out into the snow, but I will ask one last thing of each of you. Colleen, you are a dedicated sort of mythos investigator. You managed to fail just one of those power rolls. Dina, you are in the same boat. What that is going to mean, Lucas, having succeeded both, you get to escape this, but you're already a little bit crazy. So
yeah, look, I'm already a little bit cooked.
Nut job.
However this pans out, evermore now, the two of you, your bodies don't quite work the same way they used to. They don't quite sync up. Sometimes you reach out for something and it moves just a second before you actually touch it. It's like you've desynced just a little bit from where you actually are. You didn't stay there for too long, and you managed to pass one of the critical tests that you needed to. But this effect is going to have pretty long-lasting consequences for both of you. I would like to hear what it's going to mean in the long term, presuming that you were able to get through all of this long Ocean's 11 charade to stay alive and make sure that everything that you just went through actually happened.
I think that Colleen would manage it the same way that someone who's like starting to get cataracts or something handles it, which is just, oh, this is a thing that I live with now. Like, this is just, my life is a little bit more complicated or a little bit more frustrating, but like there are moments where she'll reach for like, you know, the coffee in the morning and it shifts a little slightly and she just kind of, without even thinking, course corrects after several months of like burning her fingers and things like that. It becomes almost like she becomes disconcerting to look at and to watch if you watch her for too long. If you see her in passing, it's fine, but the way that she learns to like compensate for being out of sync, if you spend too much time in her presence, she begins to fundamentally unnerve the people around her, meaning that it is much harder for her to like she's still like, if assuming Day is alive and well, is still able to like work with Day because they've been through the same things, but like she's not she's never going to be the person who can charm her way. If anything, she's more intimidating, but she's not going to be charming. She can't really pass for like someone when they're investigating, can no longer pass for a normal person without any understanding. Like anyone who knows the mythos, any cult, anyone who spends enough time with her is going to be like, you have been marked and we know that you know. And that's her. She's just a little bit, she's fine, but everyone else around her is like, oh, you're strange. You are unnerving.
I love it. Dina?
Dina hates and resents it. It's a constant reminder that there is so much more to the world that can be understood, and that it is basically, she carries it with you. You can't just forget it now. She can't put it to the side. She kind of plays it off as like a mental like thing, but can never fight through it. And she can also see similarities to the madness her father descended into before he passed. And she's keenly aware that she's now following down that same path, and ultimately sets herself with the objective of going through another gate, time traveling again, and this time trying to seek out her father with the intent of finding out what happened to him. But that is something she does when she's much older, presuming once again that she survives this wave.
I love it. I was going to ask whether she's pulled back in to either find a cure or to find the truth.
She kind of has to. She can't escape it now.
Absolutely. I love it. Lucas, you're already crazy. Does this experience make you sane?
It just reaffirms all my beliefs that they are indeed out to get us, but it may not necessarily be the government. In fact, they might be pawns in this whole game too. In fact, they probably are. There is a higher power, a higher power. And it is manipulating all of us.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you very much, everybody. There is so much fantastic stuff in A God's Dream, and so much in the entire Cult of Cthulhu book. It's a real Gordian knot as soon as you start getting into these time travel potential difficulties, and there is so much interesting stuff that you can still find if you pick up the scenario for yourself. Who was the woman in the tube? What other secrets were happening inside the compound? Not only the Church of Perfect Science, but every single one of the cults that are explored in Cult of Cthulhu that are featured in the scenarios have all kinds of amazing and wonderful things happening in the background. So definitely pick up the book, Thank you to everybody for playing. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jackson, in absentia,
Thank you, Jimbo.
for indulging that strange loop. Thank you to Roll20 and to Sirenscape, tools which we use to make our games better. Thank you to all of chat, and we will be back next week. Which
No.
I'll throw to you now. No, sorry, not next week.
So that's the important thing. So
No.
we are going to be
told.
off next week as both Jim and I are away. So we're going to take a break from the stream for 1 week as we get prepared for what we're doing next, which is going to be Nameless Horrors. So what we're doing, this is a book of 6 standalone scenarios. Each one has a bunch of pre-gens. They're really sort of like they folded into the story. They're really fun. And what we're doing is a round robin GM. So all 5 of us, Jackson included, have chosen one of the scenarios contained within this book, and we have prepped it. So we're going to start off. I will be running Bleak
speak for
Prospect.
Listen,
We are.
Prep.
we will prep it.
We probably.
The curtain was so well up there, and we chose to rip it down for no reason. I have prepped it, and I know Jackson's prepped it because we were talking about it. So we get 4 points. We are going to start off with I am running Bleak Prospect first while everyone else does their prep. And we're going to just run through. So Art's got a scenario they're going to run. Alex has chosen one, same for Jim and Jackson. And we're going to sort of pass that around, each take a turn of it. And on the other side of that, we'll be jumping into another larger campaign, which we'll discuss more as we approach. So just to reiterate, not on next week, back the following, and then it's going to be kind of an anthology series. So you can hop in for whichever ones and catch them on the YouTube later.
Absolutely. I get to do a fun French accent in mine. Should be good.
We're all doing fun
Anyway.
French accents in yours. Guess which one Jim has if you had the book. Actually, fun side objective. Yeah. If you have the book, or you can, I think the summaries are on the Chaosium page, try and predict which ones we each chose. I've revealed mine, which I think was also kind of an obvious choice. I think you should be able to guess them. I think we got ones.
Yeah.
I think we played into our types. Okay. Cool. All right. I think that's all.
Everybody.
See you soon.